Hello, I'm professional broadcaster Dan McDowell, letting you know that you are about to hear one of our free podcasts. But if you'd like to subscribe at dumbzone.com, you'll get 4 shows per week, plus the weekend wrap-up and any bonus sods like our Business Wednesday interviews. So, if you forgot how to use the 15-second rewind, that's dumbzone.com to subscribe. Now, on to today's program.
The Dumb Zone.
You know what that is, Blake?
It sounds like 140 years of brewing in Texas.
Wow, yeah, it is. Actually, Lone Star Beer, the national beer of Texas. Lone Star Light is kind of my jam. I go with the blue can. You're more of a red can guy?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you know what?
Like the red-blooded American I am.
But we can live in the same household. Red and blue can get along.
Yeah.
With Lone Star Beer and Lone Star Light. Authentically Texan, crisp flavor.
Blue?
What's a crip flavor?
Blue. There you go.
And awesome merch.
I'm more of the blood flavor.
Go to the Dumb Zone. Go to Dumb Zone 21. It's set up on the website LoneStarBeer.com. Use that code DumbZone21. Get 21% off merch. Must be 21 or over to purchase. Thank you. We love you.
Buy a shirt as a gift. You know.
I was kind of wrapping up here.
No, I waited until you were wrapping up.
Making love in Texas on a bed of Lone Star cans. Lone Star Beer. Damn.
We had a meeting last night. We had a dozen pizzas. And then over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've had pizzas in D.C. and other various places. But I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days. And it's not the same pizza. It's not the same product. It just doesn't taste as good. And they stopped measuring. And if you don't measure it, they won't do it. And the way they're making the pizza, the way they're putting the pizza together is just not fundamentally sound to what makes a Papa John's pizza a Papa John's pizza.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I never listen.
How's Papa John doing these days?
He's back in the mix.
What do you mean by that? Is he like secretary of
fundamentals? Pizza fundamentals?
Something? I don't know.
After
all these wild
11-year hiatus, yesterday we got a tweet. Big shout out to the @X team for getting me back on X. Papa's in the house.
He's not on
Blue Sky? Lib Sky? Nah, he's back, baby.
You can check me out on Blue Sky at Bracket Dan.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody please go get that account right now.
I'm serious. Check me out there.
You literally signed up?
No
saying.
way. No, he didn't.
Someone go get it. Someone beat him to it.
Blake says I didn't, huh?
The Pop is back. The day of reckoning is coming. Stay tuned, as he said.
What does he mean by measure? They don't measure. Measure what?
They're just throwing the cheese on there. It's
Yeah.
like whatever.
Yeah, it's not freehand. It's a science. Well, you think that's what Einstein was doing? Did Einstein do science? I don't really know anything about history.
He's really smart,
Yeah.
but I don't trust them scientists. Anyway, welcome to Thursday program, show number 267. I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake
I'm
Kemp.
Blake Jones.
And we broadcast today live to tape from high atop my garage.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
The Cavs are 13-0.
Oh, really?
Wow.
That's a baker's dozen.
They're on their way.
To what?
An NBA Finals appearance against the Mavericks.
Can they win one without LeBron? That's been the quest.
No.
They never have.
Well, no, but they are 13-0.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I would say I think every team would like to be 13-0. Is that a hot sports opinion?
I'd just like to be 500 at this point.
There are probably some teams that want to be 0-13 so they can get Cooper Flagg.
You might be playing one of them tonight. Mavs Jazz. Curiously, the only game on the schedule.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Unless I looked at that wrong. No one's voting or anything, right?
Kind of like the Cowboys getting their Cowboys, I heard 3 of the next 5 games. They're solo.
Wow. Yeah, there are 2 Monday nights and a tea giving.
Or 3 of the next 4 games, maybe. And nobody says tea giving.
We can try.
Nope, we can't. We should introduce Jess Walker. He is
A guy? He's a guy?
he's a man.
I'm really sorry to
Unfortunately,
disappoint.
yesterday we were pretty excited. We saw coming up on the sit-in list is Jess.
He's not even like in a feet, like Twinkie type man. you
No,
know?
he looks like a man.
I know.
Would that have made it better if I
Too,
was?
too
Yes.
bearded,
Kinda.
yeah.
Yeah, he works in beer.
Who's your buddy? Who's your guy you brought with you?
I brought my coworker Brad Featherston. Or if you're our CEO who's worked with him for 20 years,
Featherstone.
he's still Featherstone.
Had an email from Jess back in July that said he's looking to schedule a sit-in. It would be for me and my wife and my mother-in-law,
Hey, now.
who's a longtime P1, which was very exciting. I've seen this movie before.
You think podcast will
Me,
ever
my
get...
wife, and my mother-in-law.
Do you think podcasts will ever become so big that there actually will be a video like that? Like it starts out with a guy going to go see a podcast with his wife and mother-in-law. And
Boy,
then-
that'd be great.
You know, because now it's still like
Because you like to imagine yourself, yeah.
it's still like
That would be easy.
doing laundry or whatever.
My wife grew up in Dallas. Boy, a lot of stuff. And then he says, my mother-in-law back in the 90s, when my wife was a young teen, was listening to bad radio in the family van while picking the kids up from school. You said something about porn, but clarified that it was softcore porn. My wife, an innocent girl then, asked her mom, what's the difference between softcore and hardcore porn? Mm-hmm. And that's the connection with the show and the wife. And
A teaching moment.
no, then he signs off with praise be to Hotmail to know he'd get it read. So
Look at him now.
So that's a fun story.
This is before.
What did she say?
So what she said was, I shouldn't be listening to this. And then, she's a good Christian woman. So
Okay, so she didn't give her the whole deets?
At 12, no, I don't think she didn't give it to her at all.
Okay.
She should have, though.
Yeah. Prepped her for old Jess, Jess hardcore.
Little Jimmy.
Jess also sent us this a while back.
Arlington, Texas.
Oh, wait, that's not it. That's the Mike Tyson press conference from a while back. Hold on. Where is it? God damn it, Jess. What are we doing here? Oh, here we go.
Hey there, Jake. It's
Hey.
Jeff Steitzer, the Voice of God multiplayer announcer for Halo.
Did you remember this, Blake?
Oh, yeah.
So apparently you sent him a Halo or a cameo.
I did. 1:30 News was like a segment I absolutely never missed. So I was day 2, number 837, I want to say here.
Nice.
Something like that. But yeah, I could not have a Jake and Dan without a Halo God guy.
Yeah, so
Jake was the best radio personality in Dallas and decided to be dumb and make a podcast. So he's asked me if I would do a recording to introduce your Dumb Zone News.
That's awesome.
Here's what I've been asked to say. Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
So cool.
One more time. Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
you know which one I used?
Yeah, but let's mix it up. If you got both,
There
you
you
can.
go. Now, I don't know whether or not your podcast is actually called The Dumb Zone.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Whether that will be of any use to you whatsoever, or if this is just a way for D1 Jess to kind of give you a little bit of a ribbing, I guess.
Oh, you, Jess,
I feel
you
a
old.
bit bad about it since I don't really know.
Anyway, he sent like a 4-minute cameo.
This guy seems lonely.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's an old guy.
All the best, my friend. Ooh, and how you can get in touch with me is either through Cameo or you can find me on
Okay.
Facebook.
yeah.
Okay.
So thanks, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We didn't have, how much does
Contributing.
Halo God Guy cost?
I think he was like $75, but I mean, to Jake's point, he gave like 4 straight
Yeah.
minutes. And the most shocking thing is when you hear him, "Hi guys, I'm the Halo God guy," and then he turns into, "Here's Jake."
Right.
Like he's good at that.
You will have to forgive the dog. We should tell people this before we get on the air sometime.
Put it in the rider.
Just push him away. Like he's gonna lick you all day unless unless you kind of push him away or just kind of ignore him.
It's better than what he was doing.
He'll fall asleep. Well, he's been licking his leg.
Wow.
Gnawing on a raw
I should call
paw.
Anna Kay and ask her about that.
She'll cut its head off.
Yeah, that's true. He should just cut the paw off. No, he's just licking his paw all day.
Nope, gotta go.
Yeah. We can put him down. Do you ever think that's a weird way to phrase when you are putting your little kid to sleep?
Put him down?
Yeah, put him down, because I think we had a dog put down and then had a kid right after that, and it just felt a little weird when my wife would ask me to do that. So I did, though. That's why we only have 2 now.
I get what you're saying, but I think it's actually probably weirder that we feel like we have to have a euphemism for the dog killing the dog. Like, why don't you just say what it is? Like, putting your kid down for bed doesn't seem...
Euthanize.
What did I say?
No.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but that's long. Kill. Say murder.
It's just not nice to say we had to go kill our dog.
We murdered the dog. We have another sports bet.
Oh, good.
Sweet.
Did you guys hear that Colorado State and Wyoming art museums
I'm sorry, what?
have a wager on Friday's border war? If the Rams win, Gregory Alakar Museum of Art will keep Beth Van Hosen's Pale Horse. It's from 1991 from Wyoming. If the Cowboys win, Wyoming Art Museum will display Roxanne Swensel's sculpture, Mask Maker, from CSU. So
this is too much.
We may have gone too far.
You're way too far.
With City Sports Bets. City! Oh, and...
Dude, by the way, I just want to put something on the radar. It's not a hot prediction here. If this SMU thing keeps up, it's going to be a big month for Sports Mayor. He's going to be making bets left and right. Like, they're going to be in the playoff.
There's no way SMU's in the playoff. You think?
Yeah. It's looking that way.
What kind of world do we live in here?
NIL
I guess
world where being a rich
you're...
Dallas school can actually pay off for you.
Yeah, they weren't good at hiding it.
Yeah.
But if you're just allowed to do it out in the open?
Yeah.
Nice. How's Sonny Dykes doing?
Well, not great. Made the national championship game, though.
That was pretty cool. How'd they do?
They participated.
Everyone was... It's because of Connor Stallions. The only reason they lost is they're over there, Michigan cheaters.
That's true. I did want to, before we get into sports and everything, just promote the Saturday event. You know, we're getting picked up by Elite Rides Saturday morning.
Woo! Really?
Yeah.
What time are they getting us?
Well,
you're more than welcome to come here.
That's right. You just be here, and they will pick you up.
Yeah, I can't wait to pull into the stadium and just see all the people. Like, as we pull in a Sprinter van from Elite Rides, and they're cheering like it's like it's LeBron, you know?
Right. That happens usually wherever we go. Anyway, we are going to be at the Men's Health event at Globe Life Field. It's all free. We'll be there from 9 to noon. We're going to do some broadcasting. Jake will throw off a mound.
Everyone will throw off a mound, Jake included.
The main attraction is Jake throwing off a mound because months ago now, this could have been in a drunken stupor when he said this, but he's not backing off now, saying that he could hit at least 70 on the gun. He might have bragged more, but we're just going to give him 70. Or how about 69? Can you hit 69?
No. I can't.
Oh, now he's... Jeez, this is a different Jake.
Yeah.
This is a guy who doesn't want to promote coming out.
No, I want you to come
to
out.
the Men's Health event at Globe Life Field. You can go on the field. It's free. You could run the bases. You could goof around. You could watch us podcast.
55. Can you do 55?
I think, yeah. I've gotten really close, and it was, I've only been throwing once a week when I actually go. Now I have a net. I set up a big net in the backyard this morning.
Okay.
I think you should actually have that for any boy. Girls too, but my kid immediately was like, "Fuck, are you serious?
Just throwing stuff.
I could just throw stuff at this thing all day."
Yeah,
Stadium tours, if you've never seen the whole of Globe Life Field. Golf simulators.
They might show you the speakeasy that's there.
What does that mean?
They have a speakeasy at the stadium.
Really?
When we were there for the Jared Sandler charity night, they showed us.
Is that for the rich people to go in?
Yeah.
because they wouldn't let us in there, would they?
Yeah.
All right, so, Globe Life Field. Join us. We're going to be out there Saturday from 9 to noon. And like I said, it's all free. Free breakfast, too.
Hey.
All right. Wonder if they got a little taco action.
You don't eat tacos anyways.
A nice egg and cheese taco.
You will eat that?
Sure. Why? Why would I not?
I don't just see you eating a lot of eggs.
Well, what am I going to do? Where would I find an egg?
Well, I mean,
you see the price of eggs these days?
I eat a shit ton of eggs, man. So I don't know. I feel like I just don't hear you hyping up eggs. Eggs might be my favorite food.
Threw some eggs and some Mesa leftovers. It was incredible.
What a baller move.
Yep.
I've been pro-egg for a long time, and I don't want to take this.
We'll see you Saturday.
Yes, we'll see you Saturday. So, you want to dive right into what are we doing first? Tyson stuff? The big fight is tomorrow night.
It is tomorrow night.
It's actually happening.
So he's what, 58 or 59?
They said 58 in the press conference.
Okay.
Jake Paul, 27. He is 10-1. But a lot of his fights have kind of been bits, which we'll get to in a second.
Who beat him?
Reporter pressed him on that. It was a guy I'd never heard of, but I also remember hearing at the time that it was the only person he fought that was a real fighter.
Tommy Fury?
Yeah, I think that's Tyson
Fury's brother?
Brother, yeah. I think so. No, I don't. Younger brother. Okay, yeah, they just don't look close in age at all.
He was on Love Island.
Tyson Fury, 25.
He was on
36.
Love Island?
Yeah.
Tommy Fury, 25. So, yeah, that's quite the age difference. But
your daughters might know this guy.
I was going to ask if they do, yeah.
So, they had a press conference back in May, and now they did another one fight week. And if you remember the one back in May, they did a lot of the normal boxing promotional stuff where Tyson was talking all this trash, Jake Paul's doing what Jake Paul does and talking a lot of trash. But in yesterday's press conference, it just felt like Mike Tyson was kind of tired of this whole bit and didn't really want to be there anymore. And I'm going to play you some audio that would prove that. Here's the first answer from Mike Tyson.
You haven't been in one of these for about 4 years. You did an open workout yesterday. Everyone's asking you why, how. Give us the reason. Forget about all that. Old news at this point. Everyone wants to know what's going through your mind. Is the old Mike back? Is vintage Mike back? Let us know.
Are you talking to me right now?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm back, yeah.
You're the star.
I'm just happy to be here. I love you too. Thank you.
Jake.
So nothing.
I'm just getting an incredibly big check.
That's the first question. And he's like, huh?
Me? Who?
Talking to me? And it was pretty much every question after that. And Ariel Helwani, I think, is the guy up there. I've always thought of him as like a legit fight game guy. Like he had a UFC podcast. He was a UFC reporter with ESPN. But I guess he's also kind of in take the check mode. So he's got to get up there and do like, is everybody fired up? Is everybody hyped up? And the bass is way too loud and the speakers are distorted. Blake would have been losing his mind over how terrible the audio sounded. Hey, everybody fire up. Mike's like, I'm happy to be here.
By the way, Mike, can I ask you one more? Perhaps there's more to this. A lot of the talk going into this fight has been about your history, about your upbringing, perhaps some new fans learning about your history for the first time. A big story, a big part of your history, of course, your first trainer, the late great Customato. What do you think he would say of this spectacle going down on Friday?
He'd be very happy.
What do you think he would tell you about how to beat Jake Paul?
He would be very happy.
All right.
They cannot get anything out of him. And each time they go back over to Jake Paul, he's doing his thing. You know, I'll fight everybody in here. I'll bet everybody in here $1 million. And I make more money whenever I take a dump than you make in a year. All this stuff. And Tyson just...
Mike, this question's for you. Given everything that you've gone through in your life and your career, you're coming back to the ring at the age of 58. How big would this be for your life to pull off this epic comeback and beat Jake Paul on Friday night?
I'm just ready to fight. You know, I've said everything I had to say. There's nothing else to say. I'm just looking forward to fighting.
All right, thank you, Andreas.
That's
So
all
they're
he did.
wanting him to do the Nathan's hot dog.
Yeah,
just-
and he did a little bit of that back in May.
But now he's had like some kind of a health issue.
Yeah, and
He
it
was
bad.
hospitalized. He's in his late 50s.
Yeah, and I do have more I want to play for you, but also
He probably had to work so hard just to get to be able to
Yes.
even do it.
And-
I'm less enthused about this than I was when I first heard about
yes, and the gate is sold. I think Jake Paul said they ended up with the best gate, like pre-sale, the highest number
it. Nobody ever had it.
for any fight outside of Vegas. So they're all
It's
making
here, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're all making
So
money.
it's 100,000 people, and it's
Who knows?
obviously Netflix probably is paying them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And Jake Paul
It's
knows
like he
how
had
to sell
to-
stuff.
Curtains
he just
will be
had
drawn.
to do it.
He had to do it.
Yeah. It's that much money probably.
I also had the thought, though, this morning when I was going through this. This is kind of how I ran into trouble with Charles Haley when we had him on. But Mike Tyson seems like he's in a good place now. And I think there are some jobs, I'm hoping this one, where not being crazy makes you better at your job. But I'm not sure if fighting or pass rushing is in that category. Like
Yeah.
that's what my point when we talked to Charles Haley was like, hey, you ever think like maybe
A bipolar edge is great.
you can't manufacture
Who was
that.
the big guy from Chicago that went walking down the street naked? The Cowboys had him for like a year.
Yeah,
Not you guys know who I'm
I
talking
do know
about?
who you're talking about. Yes,
Anyway.
yeah, he was at the Super Bowl, right?
No, I think in the off season sometime he was caught, but he was bipolar. He was a pass rusher. He was unbelievable in his prime, and yeah, those guys having a crazy guy there is great.
Yeah, and I think that might apply to Mike. But now Mike is he goes to therapy. He's really into pot.
Yeah, he
instead
loves
of whatever
his
he was
pigeons.
into before. I'm not saying he doesn't train hard, but I don't know that he's killer Mike Tyson anymore.
No, and that's another reason why I'm a little sad. Like I don't want to see Mike Tyson get beat.
Dude.
I want to see him destroy people, and
I'm not-
it's like nice Tiger.
Yeah.
I don't like Tiger having fun and joking with the guys, and
No.
he's an asshole. He hates people. He wants to win. He wants to win by 10 strokes, and now he's like, I'm just glad to be out there. Hope to be there for the whole weekend. Like, no.
And
This
I know
isn't what I want to.
it's all promotional, but I think Mike Tyson, correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously he's got a couple famous promos that he cut over the years. His fight started before the fight where the reason he talked shit like that was because he knew that it affected the opponent. Like they actually got afraid of like, this guy's crazy. And now?
Hey guys, Ryan Morick here with Fox News. This is for Mike. You say you're not going to lose, but the odds say differently. How disrespected does that make you feel, and why do you think you are the underdog?
Thank you. Hey, I'm fine with everything.
Appreciate it, my friend. On this side.
That's like how you're supposed to live, but not how you're supposed. I'm fine with it, dude. What are you going to do? The Alcohol Anonymous serenity prayer? You're like, just accept the things I cannot change. I'm fine with it. This guy's like, they're saying you're the underdog. Are you going to prove them wrong? What if I don't?
Yeah.
Not a big deal to me.
Alden Smith? Is that who you're thinking about?
No, Alden Smith had a lot of problems,
It
but
doesn't sound right.
Alonzo Spellman.
Alonzo
that is
Spellman.
Brad,
sounds right.
Brad
Yeah.
from the back.
Yeah. Who? Because I was thinking of a guy that was with the Raiders. You remember that? He might have gone to TCU. Anybody remember that one?
Yeah, that disappeared Super Bowl morning.
Yeah.
If you said his name, I'd remember him. Bear
Brian.
Blake has to
Baron
lean back up to his computer.
Wortham?
They then asked them each to say something nice about each other. This is funny, too, because the reporter is from The Chive, which is just...
So is this like the debate? Tell us one good thing about your...
Yeah. And this guy's from The Chive,
Barrett
which
Robbins.
is like... There you go. Barrett Robbins. All right. It's a bro blog. I don't really even know what it is. It's from when I was in my 20s, I feel like, and now it's still around. But as we'll see, they let anybody ask questions at these things.
But we thought there was enough negativity in the world, so we were curious if you had something nice to say about one another.
What?
Well,
I'm getting booed?
Yes.
That's also kind of great, too, because the crowd's like, dude, lame.
Well,
I'm getting booed? Wow.
Anything come to mind, Jake?
Well, I think he's going to look good in the picture when he's on the canvas and I'm standing over him.
Anything come to mind, Mike?
It's like, why am I here?
I'll take that as a no.
He just sits there the whole time.
Like
when they introduced him at the beginning, and I should have. You kind of need the video for it, but the guy's like, "It's Iron Mike Tyson," and then he doesn't come out. Like all the pyrotechnics go off and everything, and he's just back there. There's nobody at his seat, and then once he finally kind of starts to hobble up there, they're like, "One more time for the baddest man on the planet," and they have to do the whole thing again, and he's just cripple walking up there all baked. He's like, I don't know. I guess I'll fight this guy for, I don't know what the number is, but it's got to be at least.
I was thinking like 20 million or something.
I was going to say 15 each.
But just think, like, he's actually been in these huge, where he was on top of the world and huge fights against real fighters.
Yeah.
Getting paid $50 million, and now he's doing this. So it can't be too sad for him. You know, getting $20 million is still good. He's not like the greeter at a casino or something. That's kind of like an image you have of former heavyweight champs, right?
Yeah.
The old school image of how they've fallen. But
no, I'm not sad for him. I just am preparing myself, especially given how the last 10 days have gone. I'm prepared for a world where most of America thinks that Jake Paul is the best boxer who ever lived. Like, you know what? Whatever Michelle Obama was doing before with, like, the kids' fitness thing, whatever her job was, like youth fitness czar, make him that. Why stop now?
Yeah.
$40 million for the winner.
The, quote, winner and the loser doesn't say, so it's got to be like 20.
20. Well, 40 for the winner, 20 for the loser.
That's insane, especially since no matter what Jake Paul says about, like, this is ending in a knockout, I don't think so.
And then Jake Paul bet the $40 million he's going to win on him to win.
He made several bets during this fight.
Do you think
or during the press conference?
Are you saying it's fixed?
I don't
like
think it's
to go longer.
I don't know that it's fixed, but it's 8 2-minute rounds. They're gonna fight that whole fight. Like I mean, Paul's a heavy hitter for sure, but I don't think Mike Tyson's gonna knock him out. I think he's gonna try to not get knocked out, and then they're gonna all count $60 million at the end, and we're all the losers.
Are we?
Well, I mean, you're a loser if you tune in expecting this to be a real fight and you pay $100 for it. It's not going to be a real fight. It's going to be entertainment.
Well, there's no pay.
Netflix.
That's true. I forgot.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I would pay $100 for
it. So would I.
Absolutely.
So would I. Paul gets asked about this little trick, quote-unquote, mind game trick that Iron Mike is pulling.
Jake, dare I ask, what do you make of Mike's demeanor tonight?
Man, I just, there's a lot of shit talk online saying you're going to kill me, and it just, nothing in person. It's, I don't know. It's pretty boring, pretty fucking boring.
Do you think these are mind games?
I don't know, man. It's not working, whatever these games are. It's not going to change the result of what happens Friday night.
So sort of, he made Jake Paul so bored that he kind of just gave up. Like everything they threw over to him, he's like, oh, hell, I don't know. I'm not going to play this entire 2 minutes, but he spent about 2 minutes yelling at the press. Jake Paul did, obviously not Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I guess back in the day, Tyson would almost, maybe he meant it, but he had to act like that because you were trying to sell pay-per-view fights.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that I know a lot of it is
this is already sold. They're already getting paid.
That's their
Everything's
job.
already happened, and.
But my point was just I think Mike Tyson, even in those days, knew that his words meant something to his opponent.
Okay.
Like, he actually could intimidate the heck out of them to where they'd be like, dude, did he really just say he's going to eat my kids?
Yeah.
Like, that's really weird. So the guy at the podium trying anything to get this stirred up starts going down the line of media members and other fighters on the undercard and asking, like, who you got? Mike or Jake Paul, which, of course, whips Jake Paul into a frenzy because everyone is picking Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Damn. Jake, the disrespect. It's palpable.
I love it. Hey, when I see dumb people saying dumb predictions, I just feel bad for them. So at the end of the day, who wants to bet on it, huh? Does anyone want to bet on it? I'm shaking hands. So how much we want to bet on this? You said, Mike, how much you want to bet? He said he's good. That's what I thought. Bitch made. How much you want to?
So he does that to every person. Just
so
goes
good
down
at
the
this.
line. And one of the female fighters who's on, like, I guess the other team of training here, she's like, what does she make? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's probably bringing home a couple $100,000 a year. She's like, I'll bet you your purse. He's like, fine, fuck it, purse, yours. I'm sending out contracts. So he knows what he's doing. Like, that's what he is. He's really good at it. One more Mike disinterest before we get to the star of our show. This is the ender. They're trying real hard.
The stakes have just been raised. Tremendous stuff. Mike, final word from you. Give it to us. Dig deep. I feel it. Yeah, final word to you, Mike. Final word to the world.
I'm just ready to fight.
Yeah, there he is. I'm Mike Tyson, everyone.
It's the press conference version of lifting your kid up to dunk a basketball. You did it. You did it. But you may recall that back in May, there was a press conference, I think at Texas Live,
Yes.
there at Globe Life Field and AT&T, and a colleague of ours got in a question at that May press conference.
Jacob Dettemore with the ticket in Dallas. My question's for Jake. Jake, you say you want to be a serious boxer and you want to be a contender and be a title holder. So then when in your career are you going to actually fight a contender in your weight class and not do gimmick fights?
I got to be honest. I've never had a question asked at this level, right? You could tell by the ender there from Detty's voice. He's like, I crushed that.
A contender in your weight class and not do gimmick fights.
Yeah, you could feel it. He's like, whoo.
I think he just called Mike Tyson a gimmick.
Mike Tyson's 58 years old, or will be at the time of the fight, yes.
So
as
will
much
you
as I
fight him?
respect Mike Tyson
Will you
and
fight him?
his...
What did you just call me again?
I didn't call you anything.
What did you call me?
I didn't call you anything.
Backtrack.
It's been 4 years in this sport, and I've done more to it than any boxer in the history of the sport. So in due time, sir, I will be fighting for a world championship, and I will be shutting you the fuck up and making you eat your own words, just like the rest of these fucking punks.
To the left here.
All right. So that was nice, but
that was in May, right?
Yeah, that was 6 months ago. Now we're in November. The beast is back.
Yes, this is Jacob Dettemore with the ticket in Dallas. This question is for Jake. Jake, you were just talking about your career and how it's grown, and you've said in the past that you want to be taken seriously as a boxer. So if that is your goal, when can we expect you to start fighting legitimate contending fighters in your given weight class?
I think you're the same dumbass from the other event.
I am
asked that same dumbass question,
and you didn't answer.
And
the first time.
you're sitting here disrespecting Mike Tyson to his face once again.
I asked you a
Do
question.
you not think that he's a serious boxer? He walks away.
All right, back to the media over here.
Shout out to Detty.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's funny that Jake Paul, a guy with a gazillion dollars and followers and friends and whatever, is like, hey, it's that same guy from 6 months ago. I hate that guy.
LeBron remembered 1920s reporter guy.
That's just,
But
I know
that
what
is
you
such
mean.
an
That's
anomaly
such a unique bit.
from all the other reporters. But maybe Detty is being an anomaly from reporters that aren't, that are asking him a legitimate boxing guy question.
And it pisses him off.
Like if you were a boxing fan
Yeah.
or a boxing media, that would be a legitimate question you would have. You probably look down upon this whole thing, like you say, if it's a spectacle of just got like, let's talk for real. You want to, and then yes.
Well,
so he remembers that because legitimate boxing media probably isn't really into covering him.
And the ones that I heard say, like, hey, I'm from allboxingandhiphop.com,
Yeah.
stuff like that, they didn't ask anything that was anything more than, like, what can you say about your growth in the sport? And what can you say about how much you've done for the sport? And honestly, at the 40-minute press conference, 25 of it was for the other spares up there. They had everybody up there. There's 2 or 3 other fights, so Mike Tyson did not put a full sentence together the whole time he was up there. He's like, I don't know, whatever. I can barely walk. Pay me my $20 million and let me get out of here.
Who's on the announcing crew? Do we know?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I was just looking for Tyson audio this morning, and for the break and stuff, and I remember that we watched a Tyson. Were you over here?
No, but I watched it.
We had a Tyson fight on here, but it was Jake Paul also. Like, he was one of the headliners, but it wasn't Tyson. They didn't fight each other.
Yeah.
It was when Jake Paul fought that like basketball player.
Nate
Robinson?
Was
That
it
sounds right. And Tyson fought someone else, but yeah, Snoop was on the announcing crew.
Yeah.
Trump might have been on that.
Yes, he was.
For a little bit.
He was.
Yeah.
Damn. Things are getting awesome. Roy Jones Jr. and Andre Ward on the analysis, and Mauro Ranallo.
Keep reading.
Was that when Tyson fought Roy Jones? No.
As well as actress Rosie Perez, who I actually saw an excerpt from an interview that she did with Mike Tyson recently. It was it's something called Interview Magazine. And there's this one quote in here. Hold on. I can find it. She says, I know we're coming to the end of our time, but I just want to say that I love you. I'm excited to see you back in the ring. Tyson, thank you very much. I won't let you down. Rosie, I know you won't. We both made it out. Because they're both from, I think, the same part of New York, I think.
Okay.
Tyson, hey, life isn't over yet. We're still fighting. We only make it out on the day of our death. There's no way I should be here talking to you right now. All my friends are dead. They OD'd. They had AIDS. Me and my friend both had sex with this girl at the same time, and they both died of AIDS. I didn't catch AIDS. Raw, too. That's crazy. You have a spirit hovering over you. Amen. It's something, sister. That sound like your life at all?
It's pretty similar, yeah.
Oh, man. I could play you a little bit of NBA stuff. Of course, as I told you, Tuesday night was the start of the NBA Cup, the Emirates NBA Cup, where the Mavericks lost again.
In a clutch game.
Was that the Golden State game?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Captain Clay night, where he came through and made 6 threes, but yet again, their late game offense just fell apart.
That was an emotional pregame thing.
All of it, yeah. Seeing Draymond come up to him. I heard somebody say that, and it might have been on the broadcast and I just skipped it, but that Steph was going to address the crowd. But because Clay's Clay, that got to him, and he's like, no. Please do not do that.
Do you think he's fully on board with Steph?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I think he might have his Draymond questions. He might have some Joe Lacob questions or Steve Kerr. But I do think he's fully on board with Steph. But again, man, he's a weird guy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Is he even thinking at all? Like, I wouldn't max me out either. I mean, it's just the way it is.
I don't know if he's thinking that, but he's definitely thinking that about he should have got his before Draymond.
Yeah.
And, you know, they went on to win another title after maxing out Draymond, right? They still had Clay at that time, but, I mean, they made the decision. Now they're, 8-2 or whatever. It's weird to say, but if you have Steph Curry, I'd probably rather have Draymond than Clay.
Yeah.
Kind of not redundant.
No, but you need you need a Draymond for sure. But it's interesting, and even looking at him this season so far, I mean, it started out super positive, and he hasn't, that was his best game of the year's game 1, right?
Yeah, and then this one was pretty good.
This one was pretty good.
Although when he missed really bad. He had an air ball.
Hit the side of the backboard. He
got blocked on a 3.
Yeah, missed a key one late in the game that could have really helped them.
Yeah.
What do you think about Steph doing night-night?
I think it's super cool.
You do?
Yeah.
I feel like he did it. It was like 30 seconds left, and they were up 4. Like, I don't know. Do you do night-night right there? Like, maybe that's a nail in the coffin type thing, but now it's like he did it in France, and now he's night-night guy.
He was doing it before
He's
France.
doing it way before then. I think
it just really kicked in, though.
Yeah.
Right? For everybody.
He's been doing it a long time,
Okay.
but
he did it to the Mavs when they made the conference finals, and that was a couple years ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of when it started, I think.
But he was right, because...
He was right the other night, but I just thought, no, that's a little too close.
I mean, Quentin Grimes did hit that 3 right after that, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 1-point game with 20 seconds left. I don't know what to say. It sucks that they keep losing these games. I think they'll figure it out, but having 2 of the best one-on-one scorers in the world,
wouldn't you say?
Ending up this is insane. I mean, they were so good in clutch games last year. One of the best.
That's going to regress, though.
Yeah, but it shouldn't regress to the worst.
No,
and
there's a mean here, but
especially if you have Luka and Kyrie. You would think, because every one of these possessions ends up in isolation.
Yeah.
No matter what you call,
and it
ends
still
up
is
in isolation.
kind of a new roster. You're still working it all out, and you would think as the season goes along, that'll get better.
Luka looked dead.
What's up with his knee?
Groin, knee, I don't know. But the one shot...
His left knee bleeds
every game. Yeah, I noticed that too. He's got to stop wearing the white tights.
Why is it bleeding?
He probably has like a huge...
brace?
Scab type. Not scab. Yeah, like an abrasion. That's not going to heal during the season.
Well, but it was doing this in the playoffs last year. Why didn't it heal over the offseason?
That's a good question. Maybe no Neosporin. But I have noticed it. He loves the white tights.
Maybe he has a vagina on his knee.
It wouldn't bleed all the time.
Oh.
He has a constantly menstruating vagina on his knee.
I mean, you don't know.
Everybody's got,
Where's he from?
His body, his choice.
Like Slovenia? We have no idea what they do over there.
No one does. I thought this was funny, though, because I do love me some Kevin Harlan. Don't love me some Reggie. But this is them hyping up the NBA Cup.
Shop deals now.
How cold is that? Okay, so I should tell you. They're showing the court. That's their big selling point on the NBA Cup, right?
It's ridiculous.
The courts are crazy, yeah.
They're different. I know you're fired up about that.
Shop deals now.
How cold is that? You and I were talking about it at halftime. Every court having that logo in the middle. Good looking look for this Emirates NBA Cup.
Used to be called the end season, now it's the NBA Cup. I think they could have probably named it the Commissioner's Cup, right? After our commissioner, Adam Silver, and all the things he's done for this league. Doncic in the corner.
What? They could have named it the Commissioner's Cup?
All the things.
All the things? I don't. What does that even mean? He created the tournament, I guess.
Created the tournament.
That everyone's kind of lukewarm on.
Gotten him better money deals, TV deals than anybody thought he could get.
Okay. Somebody else couldn't have done that?
Is he just not David Stern?
But what else has he done for the league?
What is he supposed to do? Any suit could do that. Like any executive who knows how to run a big company would have done the exact same job. But they're like, oh, God, I don't know. Maybe we rename a chapel after him. Adam Silver.
The Silver Cup.
Okay.
There you go.
Apparently there's something called FanDuel TV. I think maybe it's sort of in some places in place of what was Bally, from what I learned from our friend Ted Emmerich. Like the high school football games are going to be on there. The state championships.
All right.
You don't
Like
watch
it's on
those.
cable or
I
something?
watch those. But yeah, just like every year
There's
Fox
a thing called
Southwest
No, I
or
know
Bally,
that's
yeah.
on. It's been on Fox Sports Southwest.
But I guess now, for right now,
like there's a channel called FanDuel TV. If I search that,
yes.
Right.
And I believe like Cousin Sal has a show on there.
Okay.
As does Lou Williams, Lemon Pepper Lou.
Yes.
From the COVID bubble, where he went to Magic City and said that he had to leave the bubble for a friend's funeral, and then somehow was a photo posted of him with rapper Jack Harlow eating chicken wings at a strip club.
And it wasn't because of the strip club. They said
because of the wings, and people
The wings
then
are
after
that
that did say, everyone from Atlanta was like, "I know it sounds weird."
He's right.
He's right.
The Windhorse lost his mind over that.
He did. He did.
Were they lemon pepper?
It was so the show's Lou Williams, our best bud Chandler Parsons.
What?
And my pilled up queen, as Bob used to say, Michelle Beadle. Always seems a little in the bag, and I like that.
Oh yeah, she's ready to party.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, yes. I think
will
we have
not
some
be-
audio.
Not be upset if.
I mean, yeah, she did that show with Rachel Nichols and Bill Walton and stuff.
Like, she'd
and they're
be
all-
up for trying
They were
different
all
stuff.
drunk.
You know,
Like,
we'll try
straight
I'll
up
try
drunk
some
during the national championship game.
Well, yeah, I remember y'all playing audio of somebody was like, "Oh, some people are getting lucky," and then she's like, "Oh, I wish," or something. It was just like out of nowhere.
Yeah, she'll get horny on you. She also stumbled over a Western Conference team name, and this has happened before to others.
Michael Porter Jr. recently said,
I mean, right out of the
Right
gate
there,
there.
yeah, she's,
she is laugh talking, but she also has Chardonnay Julie.
Michael Porter Jr. recently said, "Oh, I don't like this. That if the Nuggets,
that was a good one.
Don't try to get me on that. They might have to break up the team. Lou, are you buying that this is the last dance for the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, I'm buying it.
Nuggets.
I'm buying it. Beater, you're going to be in trouble today.
That's not fair. It's not even a thing. It's not even a word.
Sounded like it.
You would love that.
Listen, anyways, I'm buying it. All good things come to an end.
I don't like hearing it, though.
And it feels
We didn't
like
like
we didn't like
hearing
hearing that either.
We sure did. I'm sweating.
It's all right,
man.
Beetle. You covered in the cloth. I got you. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
Gave her the pass.
Now I'm sweating.
But
Jackass.
listen, all good things come to an end.
Back to sports.
Yeah, love it.
They're rolling and laughing, and that's when you could misspeak, right?
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. recently said, "Oh, I don't like this. That if the Nuggets,
That was a good one.
don't try to get me on that. They might have to break up the team. Lou, are you buying that this is?"
Yeah, so, ooh. Love
Then
that.
doesn't he put his head down on the desk?
Yeah, she was worried. But also, I feel like now you're not going to get fired for that. Now, maybe she's a big deal. She's not really that big of a deal anymore, but she's Michelle Beadle. But remember
For that, for sure.
Dude, you remember when that guy, that one writer or somehow in basketball media got fired for the tweet?
Chink in the armor?
Nah, that guy wrote that in an ESPN story about Jeremy Lin. There was a guy who typed out
An I instead of a U for Nuggets?
Yeah.
Like,
or
clearly
bigger something. Let me see if you looking, Blake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a guy who got fired for that. He might have been with the Jazz or something. But yeah,
The Jazz, you think he'd get promoted?
The Hornets.
What was the tweet? Read it verbatim, please.
Did they take it? They took it down. This is an article that embedded it.
You don't gotta get the screenshots, man.
It's not me.
No, not you, but I mean, it does feel like a cruel trick that the B is right next to the N on the keyboard.
He was trying to type bigger?
I don't know, but I do know that.
Or Buggets.
Shot making in this Jazz ins game is awesome. Murray and Mitchell going back and forth. What a game.
And he just went.
So it was Nuggets?
Oh, no. It's the hard R word. And I think why he got
Wait, how did he?
Autocorrect.
Oh, how do you get that
how
to
does it correct
autocorrect?
into that? Yeah.
Which means he's typed it before.
Oh, wow.
Or you have a contact saved as that name.
But it's plural.
Like, I've heard of Southern people, like people in the South, who knew a black guy that they were good friends with, and that's what they called him. Blank first name.
Yeah.
You've heard of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not, in that context, I suppose, thought to be offensive, although it is demeaning, but still, that guy got fired for that. Heck, the cotton-picking guy from the Thunder got fired. Russell Westbrook is out of his cotton-picking mind.
Which is ridiculous. And then they went to Russell Westbrook and asked him about that.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Guess he shouldn't say that.
I got a little more fun sports audio for you here on Sports Soup. This comes to us from Full On Sicko Fitz, our good friend Chris Fitzpatrick, who is obsessed with college football to a degree.
OU Fitz.
OU Fitz apparently subscribes to Sirius XM radio for college football broadcast, because he texted me on Saturday and was like, hey, you need to hear this from the UT broadcast. I'm like, dude, are you listening to UT Florida on the radio? Like, sure.
And he gets archives? Or is he rolling as he's listening?
I did.
You got archive? You get the archives?
I paid for a month to get this.
Okay, I didn't know they had the archives.
Use the Varsity app.
I paid for a month. Or I did a free trial, and then I canceled it. But I got the audio I wanted.
Use the Varsity app from now on.
So
it's archived there.
We know Saturday was a big day in college football for a number of reasons, but none bigger than this.
When the holidays get real, start at Kohl's and Kohl's.com, where you'll find early Black Friday deals. Kohl's, where families come first. By the way, all of us at the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield want to pass along our best wishes, thoughts, and condolences to our good friend Kirk Herbstreit on the loss of his great companion, his dog, Ben, who passed away this week at the age of 10. We just saw Ben here 3 weeks ago.
I just saw it.
Oh, my God.
I just saw him.
The age of 10. We just saw Ben here 3 weeks ago for the Georgia game. He was a constant companion of Kirk Herbstreit and a beloved mascot among college football fans.
Not even close, the most popular figure on the 40 acres 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Friday, there was a lot of videos. Herbstreit comes in before he goes back home to watch his son play football, but he comes in on Friday. And
Quick 20? That's insane if that's true. Is he flying from Ohio to Austin on Friday, flying back to watch his kid play football on Friday night, going to the game day site?
You're missing Thursday night football. So he'll go Ohio, Thursday night football, then probably Austin, then home, then to game day, then to Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because game day was in Baton Rouge.
I mean, if you have a PJ, it's like taking a long drive. So you're going to see you're not waiting in lines. You're just
still
sitting.
Seems crazy.
Yeah, but
and you want to show your kid that you like him and stuff. So you're at his game.
No, Baton Rouge game day was in Austin.
Well, I thought Ben was his best friend.
Or was it?
Ben is his best. Well, now he has a second best friend, his kid.
His kid is his second best friend.
Did you guys see Keith Hernandez trying to jump in on this game?
No.
My timeline is showing me a lot of Keith Hernandez announces the death of his beloved cat.
Oh, no. Doesn't
Haji.
work that way, pal.
Yeah.
Who's Keith
His
Hernandez?
name, the cat's name is what?
Haji. He
That's
is the
definitely
former
a slur.
Mets first baseman who is now the Mets, one of their color analysts. I don't know if it's on radio or TV.
Yeah, we don't. That word is very popular in the like.
If
in the
use
military.
it as a slur.
Yeah.
What is
Haji? Hadji.
That's going to appear 100 times an episode in Generation Kill. That is a slur for the Arab, for sure.
There was once a kicker named Ali Haji Sheik, I think.
Okay, well, it sounds like...
No, he was from Georgia.
Johnny Quest.
How's Johnny Quest doing? Hadn't thought about Johnny Quest in a long time. He's different than Johnny Bravo, right? Johnny Bravo's the one that had little legs. Here's a little more of this.
I mean, he was center stage at midfield during the warm-ups, and everybody was coming
This
up to
goes on
Ben.
for 3 minutes.
Forget about Kirk. They want to see Ben.
Will Matthews, we didn't get a chance to visit with Ben there before that Georgia game, and I know you were.
We didn't get a chance to visit with
around
Ben.
there. All right, we'll check back in.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
Throw it to the sideline.
So, were you able to see Ben?
I was. So what's cool about it is,
all right, I can't
The
do it.
sideline guy has a
Yeah,
report
they
on
threw
when,
it down to
when
the
I
field.
did I or did I not see Ben 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
We're-
Yep.
We're almost out of this, guys.
No, we're not.
We're almost through it.
Yeah, you're about a decade now of
Peter.
Steve, or who? What is it, Peter?
Peter can't get the same love Ben did.
They're already trying.
No way.
They're
But it
already
can't-
trying to force.
It can't take off. No way.
They painted him on the side of the game day bus.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, Home Depot put out an ad yesterday, a social media video where Nick Saban is like spray painting, and then they show it. It's got the dog walking with him.
God, I would have loved to have been in that production meeting. Saban. I got to do what?
Yeah, I bet
Just
it is
stand
kind
there
of
with
like
a can, and we'll superimpose. We'll take care of it.
I bet it is kind of like I used to feel like this sometimes, like with Bob, because Bob's not really a pets guy, and if we talk about like losing an animal, like I will bawl big time when Milo goes, or the cat, but I just kind of always felt like Bob was like, it's an animal, like it's a pet. I imagine Nick Saban being that way.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Like that he's like, this is ridiculous. Like, why do you care? I mean, how does this impact you or anyone? I don't know. I can't imagine Nick Saban was like McAfee. I could see McAfee crying for someone else's dog. Bro. Oh my God.
Right.
We don't deserve animals, man.
Yes. Love we don't deserve animals. All right. That's what I had. Oh, you know what? I have more.
And now it's, oh, you know what? I have more.
But I didn't have it pulled up, so now I
Featuring
have to
Jake.
find it. Okay. I'm sure you saw the headlines about the plane fight in college basketball.
Plane fight.
So Auburn was on their way to play.
Oh, yeah, okay, on the airplane.
We never played this. They were headed to play Houston, right, Blake? Top 10 matchup.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going.
And they take off and quickly had to turn back around. Let's go now to the cockpit.
Yes, sir. We have got an altercation on board. We thought to declare an emergency and land. We got a bunch of basketball players fighting. The flight deck is secure. The threat level is contained for the moment. We just had police on the ground, and we had 2 players that got into physical altercation. Clothes were ripped, and 1 bloody player. And Center 2681, it's kind of crazy. Were we direct Montgomery?
They had to turn the plane around. Now, fortunately, I think
Why wouldn't you just keep going and have the
I don't know.
cops on the ground over there?
Like, are you worried that it's going to be another few hours and this could happen again and it could spill into the cockpit?
Auburn to Houston?
It's not that far, yeah. So it was a freshman and a senior, and they did not come back. So when they went back to Auburn and took off without him.
Okay.
I did, however, see a video posted that had highlights from one of the games that they've played earlier this year where they were just killing somebody. Like they're up 50. And there's one guy in particular.
Open that tweet I sent you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one player in particular. I think they were playing Vermont on opening night. They won 94-43. And there's one guy in particular who, at the end of the game, is just chucking and making like every 3 he puts up. And his whole team's cheering. And there's one guy in particular who doesn't cheer once. And I think people deduced that those are the 2 players who got into a fight.
Okay, but this is previous in the year because I saw this too that weekend. And I thought, it's after the fight.
I think people were trying to figure out, like, hey, can we watch any of their games and think, like, oh, who might this have been?
Yeah, look at number 3. It's every time a shot goes up, he loses life. and just falls down like, this guy's shooting again.
And he is reported to be one of the ones in the fight.
Of course.
Another freshman.
And it gets funnier and funnier because the crowd is losing their mind, and he's just head down.
Yeah.
We got to fight a couple basketball players. There's blood. Kind of surprising that doesn't happen more often. Bunch of teed up dudes or fighting over.
Yeah, but a basketball team playing, you got so much room. You got food. You got cookies. What
Also,
could you be mad
just
about?
just to further reiterate the idea that women are their own worst enemy, when she either saw this story or I told about her, my wife was like, they're probably fighting over some woman. I'm like, yeah, they are kind of the root
of all evil,
cause of all these problems.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this before we get crypto talk. You guys see Bitcoin?
What's it at today?
More?
It was like 89,000 last night.
Nah, it's up.
Up again?
Yeah, you're over 90. Oh, damn, you're back down to 89.
So.
We may sell today. We're going to talk to Nick Black, our crypto guy. Viewer mail today will be brought to you by Early Bird CBD.
Woo!
You're on board with that, right, Jake?
I am quite on board with that, yes.
If you go to earlybirdcbd.com, use the code DUMBZONE, you can get 20% off your order.
I got a little birthday party to attend this Saturday night, and it is at a brewery. Now, I am not partaking in the wares of the brewery, but I will be consuming an Early Bird just to go have fun, relax. That's what Early Bird's here to help you do. They're not here to help you pass a drug test, so if you're worried about that, Early Bird is not your gummy because it has real THC in it, about 2.5 milligrams combined with CBD. It's made right there in Austin. Great customer service, so check them out at earlybirdcbd.com. Promo code's DUMBZONE, 20% off. Feel good with Early Bird.
So this is my big Thursday mail, our big Thursday mailbag. So if you have any,
I do.
We don't do it on Friday. Everyone else does it on Friday. We're so innovative.
Sure.
Brad, right? Is this you? Did you email us? Different Brad.
Brad.
Said, just writing to give a few reasons why I'm canceling my subscription.
Nice.
This will be good.
1, too much Cowboys talk. For this not being a sports show, you guys sure are obsessed with every move the Cowboys make and don't make. Full game recaps that nearly go play-by-play and endless drama around Dak, CD, and Micah. 2, don't want to hear Trump talk. Jake's audio erection for Trump was already too much to handle, and I don't want to find out how much worse it will get. Best of luck from Brad.
Appreciate your business, Brad. Thanks for giving us a chance.
That's all we ask.
Just give us a chance to earn your business.
And
it's
hit
funny,
that like button.
There are some people, yes, very important. Leave a review. But some people are like, oh, you don't like Trump, I'm unsubscribing. And then some people are like, why do you keep saying Trump's so funny? That makes me mad. I'm unsubscribing. Well, because here's the deal. Both are true. I don't like the guy as a politician or leader. He's also one of the funniest men who's ever lived and one of the greatest performers of our generation.
His timing is impeccable.
Absolutely undeniable fact.
This one I titled, Is It Racist? Dear Uncle Hotmail. First of all, I want to say The Boys is the greatest show on Amazon.
Oh, boy, tallest midge.
Skip.
I'm pointing this out to increase my chances of having my email read on the show.
Yeah, you nailed it.
So this is from Brandon, who says, I'm on the back half of a 2-week vacation to Japan and Thailand.
Heck yeah.
I know Blake has that superpower that allows him to see which countries people are listening from. He's trying to spread the DZ name across Asia, he says. That's good. There's a lot of people over there, I heard.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll take
Untapped.
subs from anywhere. You don't have to be here in DFW. He says, anyway, I got to say you're right. While in Thailand, I'm getting massages at absolute rock bottom prices from a little Thai woman who probably makes a few dollars a day. So this is where I don't like the pedicure. I feel like that's, I feel like it's racist to get a pedicure or to get my shoes shined. or whatever. So I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm out here stimulating the economy for minorities, but if you're above that, then...
Anyway, she's asking me repeatedly in an almost sexual tone, do you like that, while I'm laying next to my girlfriend? And I have to keep telling her yes. And then he says, even though I'm black, I can't shake the feeling that somehow this is racist as hell. Despite that, I'm going back for another tomorrow.
That's right. You're damn right you are.
That's from Brandon.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
Also, just to follow up, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, go ahead.
I'm currently listening to the 11.4 epi where you mentioned looking for a new younger wife. Well, I couldn't help but notice a large amount of older white guys with their hot young Thai wives here in Thailand.
Oh, yeah.
I knew this was happening, but I got to say I'm surprised by the numbers I'm seeing. This sounds like the place for you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but because, Asia's a big place, Dan, and not all Asians, look the same. But I do feel as if the generation that fought in Vietnam and then was like a little bit younger than that, maybe, really, really liked Asian women. Like, so a guy who's, how old do you have to be to fight in Vietnam right now? Like 70? 75? No. 75,
What was
right?
Vietnam? Like the mid-60s?
Probably 80.
I just feel like when I was growing up,
knows.
it was way common for a guy who's, 60, 65, rich Dallas guy had Asian wife. Jeffrey Lurie, if you recall.
Is that where the mail order bride? How did that whole?
I think it was a
is there
paper.
Something real?
No,
there's nothing.
No, she worked at a restaurant, an Asian
No.
restaurant.
But I just mean the just the culture.
Oh, the concept. That's a real thing.
Like
Yeah.
you could actually somehow.
Yeah.
Mail order a bride.
Eastern Europe.
Old guy lived next door to my mom. Had a young Asian wife. Now that I think about it.
Well, I feel like that's enough data for us to be.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Solve that one.
Anchor word from Dean, unabated.
Yeah.
The quarterback?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Never heard unabated anywhere else.
Can I play you a little bit of audio?
Sure.
This one comes to us from our Canadian sandwich friend, AP. It's interesting because AP is a very long-time, strong ticket listener, but he would typically hear our shows 5 to 6 months after they aired. He was an unticket, you save it guy, like he helped them run their stuff. I think he listens to our show about a week late.
Okay.
So he's improved the timeline. He sent me a clip. We were talking about some sports team, probably the Cowboys, who got beat very badly, and I used the term, they got mollywopped. And it stopped everything down, and no one else had ever heard that term. Jess, Brad?
Never.
Jack? Of course not. No. Jack's not paying attention anyways.
Leave Jack alone.
I was trying to get Jack involved in the show.
That's his new bae.
I know.
He loves Jack.
Yeah. He's Jack's Dan. I think it's a little...
Wait a second. He loves me, you're saying?
Yeah.
And Jack loves Blake?
Yeah. It's like he needed somebody to love him the way that he loves you.
Jeez. That's why he turned to the bottle. He's just so jealous of our...
I know.
So this is a clip from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Because I heard this term my whole life growing up. I assumed it was a Southern term, like I heard it from football coaches a lot. This, of course, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Philadelphia. Oh, am I up? Am I up, Blake?
I wouldn't have muted you since you were playing a lot of audio.
Oh, what do we got going on here?
Hey, even if he would have gotten caught, it wouldn't have been that bad.
Oh, yes, it would have been that bad. For you. Now get out.
You were always so damn naive.
Trying to get Phil to take a bribe.
That's right. You best to press on before you get straight mollywopped up in here. I should have wrote that one down too, right?
Just hilarity ensues with the laugh track. So then I looked it up, and a lot of people were saying, like, this is a Philly term. But then I saw other people saying, I heard this in the South. Those doesn't typically seem to be a lot of dialectical
I was going to say, maybe
there,
you learned it from watching Fresh Prince, but certainly your old football coaches never watched that.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Mollywopped.
There's really no way to tell.
Use it at parties.
Dear Mr. Malacologist, I really enjoyed your discussion on the great Haley Joel Osment. Pay It Forward is a great movie that encourages us all to help each other without a concern for our own benefit. It's a lesson I think we all could learn. HJO is a great actor. I think his whole catalog should be celebrated, from The Sixth Sense to Secondhand Lions. His career is highlighted by versatile roles that teach us important lessons.
What's the end game here with this email? What are we doing?
Most importantly, who could forget his role in Amazon Prime's The Boys?
Oh, my God.
Mesmer,
I didn't know he was in that.
A telepathic soup whose fall from grace teaches us to not take advantage of the gifts we have been given. May we all learn from him, from Will.
Well,
you don't know my game.
Again, he did get stabbed at the end of that movie about kindness.
Got a long email. You might have been on this too. Alan Hearn's follow-up.
Yeah.
And basically the email, it's a long tale about how this guy was out partying, drinking, eating wings, whatever, and saw the gruesome Alan Hearn's leg break video.
Yeah, I told you guys.
Yeah.
And he stumbles to the restroom and vomited. Like he couldn't take it. Like it was that bad to him.
Yeah, like on a huge 120-inch TV right in your face. And he
Yeah,
puked.
yeah. He says, to this day, my buddies, as well as my wife, bring it up anytime there's a gruesome injury that occurs, so it's great having a nice reminder of how much of a little bitch I am. And then he writes, keep crushing vag from DF Lance. And I just kind of thought that's a cool sign-off, which I might employ.
Keep crushing vag?
I just like the thought that somebody out there is thinking that I'm crushing vag.
Yeah. Keep it up.
And they want you to keep it up. Yeah.
P.S. I'm halfway through Amazon's Prime.
God,
Sent me
I
to
knew
Living
it.
the
I
Boys,
knew
and
it
I haven't
was.
thrown up once. And it's a very gruesome show at times.
I have a couple emails on jury duty. The first one comes to us from Derek in Argyle.
Hey.
And he tells this story, because we were talking jury duty because of Brandon Aubrey, and can you get out of it? How do you do it? And this guy tells his story, and it was down in New Braunfels. And it was a case of a guy who was floating the river. Now, a lot of people end up in court from floating the river. As Jess shakes his head, yes.
What does that mean?
It's a wild scene. It's whether it's
Do you have any
public
personal tales?
intoxication, whether it's a lot of people end up also having to go to get stitches on a lot of cut foot.
Have you done floating?
Have I?
Is that dumb? Of
Yeah,
course you have.
He was in
hundreds
San
of
Marcos.
times. Yeah, that's a big reason why you go there. It's beautiful. Even if aside from hey, you're going to go party, there's a river that runs right through your basically your campus, and it's the same temperature year round. The water is super pure and clear and clean. And yeah, we would go to one of the river floats like every single weekend or Friday we could when it was warm. But on really busy days, there are so many people out there that if you get underneath a tube, you're in trouble. Like, there's no open space. There are that many people, tubes just shoved you. Like, people have died. They're also they try to be kind of strict now about what you can and can't bring out there. And there was a guy who was accused of bringing a cooler that was larger than a six-pack cooler, because that's all you can bring now. Because we used to bring like 2 of the biggest ice chests you could find. We would take 100 beers, 100 Jell-O shots, and a few bottles of liquor out on, and just put those each in tubes. Now they want the six-pack. So this guy gets arrested for that. And he used the excuse that he had been serving in Iraq and was not aware that there were changes to the law when he came back. And this listener, Derek, was on the jury. And he wasn't arrested, by the way. It was a ticket. The troop, who I respect, represented himself. And this guy said, yeah, they rested their case. We went back in. It was clear the guy was guilty. You know, he had a cooler that was bigger than the six-pack cooler. He said, so our recommendation was to fine him the cost of a six-pack cooler. They settled on $15. And they went back into the courtroom. He said, I wasn't the foreman. I don't remember how we chose the guy. He stands up and said, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. The Army guy kind of looks at us pissed off. Then the judge asks about the fine, and the foreman says, the price of a six-pack cooler, $15, and thank you for your service. And he said the prosecuting attorney was all pissed off. He closed with, P.S. I live in Argyle, and I saw Chappie at the car wash. Chopped it up with him for a few minutes. I'm mad at myself for not telling him he had mustard on his face. He must have just eaten a sandwich. And the second I read that, I was like, you know what? I feel like my dad is prone to having sauce on his face that he doesn't realize is there.
Don't you feel bad telling someone that you're just kind of an acquaintance with?
Yeah, that's a very Curb moment.
That they got something on their face? And
yeah.
You apologize, like, hey, I'm sorry, but I just don't want you to have this come up with the next person, but your balls are hanging out of your pants.
Yeah, it's tough.
This is my last one. Dear Admiral Ass Eater and the Poon Platoon.
I feel like butt stuff is a different division. We can't just open that up, as it were.
This is just a variety pack email. Jameis Winston had more pass attempts this year. The year that he threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions than Trey Lance has had in his entire career of football, including high school. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a great note.
Some other notes. The 2-minute crossover spot is genius. Blake needs to add a bright side Dan list for all the times Dan finds a silver lining in a bad situation. Blake needs to look into Aqua Panna, as it is imported Italian spring water and the best water around. Buy the glass bottle only.
Aqua Panna?
That feels a little too high-toned if you have to buy glass bottles of something.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Like, I don't want the plastics industry to go broke.
You're just so benevolent.
This is Alec
Plastics.
Fedro.
Okay.
Who's a Day 3 patron, now Substack DF.
Is Jameis still starting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, they tried to sell us for like a week on the idea that that's not how they're going to go the rest of the year.
DTR
time.
Well, I don't know. They just came out. They're coming out of the bye, as you well know. Browns are off last weekend. And got a big one against New Orleans this weekend. Getting points on the road.
That should be very boring.
Yeah.
Very, very boring.
Are we done with that? Are we done with mail?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Then we will have a quick little break, and then we'll talk to our crypto guy in a moment.
What do you put on the hamburgers when you order them?
No, it's just Big Macs as they are.
Oh, as they
And
And what about like on Thanksgiving or Christmas or something like that?
Okay, I throw extras in the refrigerator, or like I say, I keep a stock in the freezer usually. In case we have like Wisconsin, we got a lot of crappy weather, so I got to worry about snowstorms.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff like that.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, another known meat eater from Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's right.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Hey, Travis Bell, good DF number 806, raises beef in West Texas and will be in the Dallas area this weekend selling straight from the source. USDA inspected retail cuts. Why buy straight from the source, you wanted to ask, Jake? Freshness, of course, and to help out a good listener, Travis Bell. He said they raise their calves on grass and steers on grain. I don't know what that means.
Oh.
I don't know if it's that kind of grass.
My bad.
He has, do you have a grain sound effect?
Nope. I thought about it for 1 second and moved on.
He has New York strip steak, sirloin, stew meat packs, roast, everything. Email travisbell2745@gmail.com or find the Bell Ranch Beef Facebook page.
You said he's listener 806?
Yes.
That's interesting. He is a Lubbock. He's a tech guy. Lubbock, 806.
The area code?
Yeah. It's a fun fact for you, bud.
that is fun, man.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
You are welcome.
He also has you could buy a full cow from this guy. Like he said, it won't be ready till next July, but now's the time to order it, and they'll deliver you a full cow. Should we do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We should.
Absolutely.
Just to see what that means. What does it look like? How many freezers do you need?
Do we get to go meet it?
Right. I want to put the bullet in its head.
I want to club it to death with a 9-iron.
It's our cow.
Yeah, I bought it.
Whatever you want with it.
That'd be great. Anyway, let's talk crypto because
from beef to crypto.
If we've seen it, we just talk about what dudes like talking about: meat and crypto.
Yeah.
This is our good old friend Nick Black. We've talked to him many times over the years on different mediums, and here we are. Perhaps we're even on DZ TV with this segment. Who knows? Hey, Nick.
How's it going, guys?
Check him out on YouTube. Search Nick Black. Yes, you've been extolling the greatness of crypto for many years. In fact, many, many years ago, maybe even a decade, maybe more. You helped me buy my Bitcoin when I was out there at training camp. And that one Bitcoin is worth a lot more than it was back then. I can't even remember if it was 3,000 or 6,000, but at the time it seemed like, boy, that's a lot. And then we've lived together through some volatility. Went up to 16, went back. I just remember 16 was the high for a while. Then it went back to the 6, and you're like, oh man, should have sold there at 16. Then it goes up to 60, and then it was down to 30 for quite some time. You're like, damn it, I should have sold at 60. And then we wake up the other day, and these guys are like, did you see Bitcoin? And it was upset, and now it's 89. I guess it was hovering around 60 for a while. Now it's around 90.
It was 93. It was 93 yesterday. 93 and a half.
In 3 days, it just makes this huge jump.
All they needed was a tweet from Scottie Pippen.
Well, not to get into the political stuff, but when you remove all the barriers, I mean, there's not much left other than global thermonuclear war. There's not much in the way of these assets just continuing to bloat and bloat and bloat. It's like a hedge against stupidity. Do you think politicians and central bankers and all that, do you think all those people are going to be smarter or dumber moving forward? Or the same? If it's the same or dumber, you buy Bitcoin. It's a hedge against stupidity, and stupidity is a bottomless well, apparently.
Okay, so why politically though? You say is this
so?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so when Trump came in, well, to be careful, when the changes that happened last week happened, it removed a bunch of the anti-crypto, and not just anti-crypto, but just anti-technology, anti-AI, old school octogenarian politicians. These career politicians that make, $120K a year and somehow retire being, having $20 million in the bank. You're like, oh, weird. How do they do that? So when those group got voted out, pushed out, it removed all of the barriers, all of the anti-AI, the anti-crypto, the anti-tech, the anti-future finance people. So regulatorily, a lot of things just got easier. And so now passing pro-finance, pro-crypto, these kinds of regulatory clarity so that companies can come back to the U.S. and start building, because what the other group of the last 4 years did is effectively push all these companies offshore. They just said, F you, we're out. We're not going to mess with this. U.S. isn't the only game in town. There's the whole rest of the world. So they just left, which is how it takes 14 minutes on the internet to reincorporate and just move your banks. And so the U.S. lost, I don't know how many billions, lots. And a lot of really good, smart people just said, I'm checking out. So they booked it as far as their work, right? Like they could work remote, but they left the U.S. as far as workers. So all that brain power just bailed. And now it looks like we can start onboarding those companies again because they're not like scared of the Gary Genslers of the world who's pretty much done. He's polishing his resignation letter. He runs the SEC, or at least for the next 18 minutes. And all of these politicians that were grinding and saying crypto is just used for pornography and crime, those people have pretty much been muzzled. So for the next 4 years, it's going to be a different environment where it looks like regulators are going to actually put normal laws in place, normal rules in place for doing business in the crypto space, in the AI space, and just in tech in general. And it just like there's no headwinds. Like with that one election, there's no more headwind. So it's a good time to be in this space.
So I was going to ask you what the intent of those policies and regulations were. And you're saying that it was primarily based on the idea that it is capital to be used for nefarious means?
Well, that was the argument. The reality is that most of these politicians, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it's pretty easy to track where they get their campaign contributions. And it's all banks and older financial institutions that are unyielding. But then you see a shift early this year where BlackRock and Fidelity and a lot of these companies launch a Bitcoin ETF, and it finally gets through the SEC because you don't tell anybody at BlackRock no, because they're kingmakers, right? And then Fidelity and ARK and all these companies, and they all start coming on board. Now you have actual clean, regulated financial product, a Bitcoin ETF. Then you have an Ethereum ETF. And if even that's all there ever was, that makes up 2/3 of the entire cryptocurrency space. So you have a kind of store of value / hedge against insanity, which is Bitcoin. And you have a smart contract platform / a kind of world computer, which is Ethereum. And they are now regulated assets. And there's more steps, right? Like they're trying to launch options markets against those assets and things like that. But those are actual financial products at this point. So it's no longer that Bitcoin is that sketchy little thing that you use to buy porn or whatever, or these other silly arguments that are drummed up, which apply to everything ever, like gold coins, credit cards, cash. I'm pretty sure they've all been used for porn at some point. So those kind of arguments are stale, old, sad arguments. And the reality is that probably 3-4 years from now, we won't talk about crypto finance versus finance or legacy. It'll just be money again. Some people do digital money. Some people do paper money. Some people have coins. It really makes no difference. People can just kind of choose where they want to hold their units. But if at 3 a.m. you want to do something with your currency, you can't do it with anything other than some kind of disintermediated or, digital product. And I guess the other thing to say is like money has been digital since the 70s. It just hasn't been digital and distributed ledger based, meaning that we could all see it. Like imagine a world where we could see everything the government does all day long in real time. Like have you ever logged into that world, the world debt clock?
Yeah.
And watch that son of a gun just spin and you're like, oh my God, that's us. Imagine if we saw where all that money was going in real time. Every American could go, oh, weird, we just gave $3.7 billion to sheep farmers in Namibia. Why did we do that? When there's like people that eat like dirt on the side of the road here in America. So like that changes things, like the visibility of it changes. And that scares a lot of politicians. The Nancy Pelosi's of the world are uncomfortable with that. The Elizabeth Warrens are uncomfortable with that. Just old school politicians, bankers are not super comfortable when you don't need a banker. This idea that you need them, that's over with. But again, that's over with for someone like me that's kind of at the front end of it on the edge. Whereas for Joe Sixpack, it's just going to take a while before they're comfortable. And what it will likely be is this slow transition to where you don't even realize it. And in the background, your bank is starting to do transactions digitally, and you notice your fees reduce or go to zero, which is what they should be. So all of a sudden, things just look a little easier. You're not even sure why. And then they inform you, oh, by the way, we've been processing digital transactions for the bank. It saved you X amount of money. Pretty soon, you will likely be able to hold digital stable coins and like USDC or Bitcoin or Ethereum right there at your bank. Because why would they want that business exiting in the first place? They'll come around. And so I think this kind of, this election cycle opened the floodgates for kind of common sense regulation. And that's just something we haven't had. It's just been murky for 12 years.
So it's at 89,000 or around there right now.
89.49, yeah.
Okay, you know exactly. And I got a buddy who lives out there in California who texted me the other day that he thinks it will get near 200,000 in the next 12 months. Where do you think it? Because, like, if I'm sitting talking to my wife last night, which I was, and I told her what we got this for, 10 years ago or whatever.
You want me to fill in her comments for you?
Yeah.
Sell it.
That's exactly what she said. Sell it right now. I need a new car. Sell it. I need this. It's all about her. You know how women are. But the point is, smart investors do know when the top is, right? I mean, even you. I know that I remember you were into the digital trading cards bit?
NFTs.
You kind of got in it and then got out pretty quickly. You took advantage of that. You're a smart guy. And so I'm going to ask that same smart guy, when do you get out of Bitcoin?
I would say that there's a different proposition for what Bitcoin is. Again, it's a hedge against stupidity, and stupidity, there's no end in sight. I just don't think humans change. I think people are mostly greedy and sometimes a little bit altruistic, but like more heavily on the greed side of that spectrum. And I just don't think bankers will not be bankers. I don't think that central bankers will stop monetary policy. I don't think they'll quit eroding currency like value. Like right now with 2% inflation, that's not real, but the 2% inflation that the government would have you believe that we have statistically, every 20 years, your savings get chopped in half as far as buying power. So think about that for a second. You work your whole life. You might get if you work and you get a pension or retirement every 20 years, and people are living to 100 now. That is happening. So every 20 years, all of your shit gets cut in half. Every 20 years, what if you retire at 40 and run another 3 of those? So now your 100,000 is 50,000 is 25,000 is $12,000 in buying power. That should piss you off. And we know it's not 2%. That's a fictitious number. It's probably closer to 7 or 8%, the real debasement figures. So every 5 or 6 years, your buying power gets chopped in half. It's not cool. So it means, one, you never ever get to retire. Forever. You're working forever. There's no way around it, at least until the robots take over. So you start thinking damn, I do all this work, but really it's eroding as fast as I can make it. So that's problematic. So if you think that is going to continue, then you buy Bitcoin as a hedge against just all of that weird behavior. It's not a store of value in the arguments of gold and all this kind of stuff. It's a stupidity hedge. And if you just think stupidity and bad behavior continue, you don't ever sell it. There's ways to leverage it and kind of you could borrow against it. There's all sorts of ways to pull money out of Bitcoin without selling Bitcoin. Or you would sell tiny fractions of it as the price goes up. But I could see a bunch of ways where Bitcoin could be $1 or $2 million a coin in the next 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, it's just these things move so fast. I mean, earlier this year we were in the 30,000 range. This year. So he said, okay, just did a quick 3X. So do a 3X and run that 5 years out. So if we're close to 100, and then we're 300, and then we're 900, and then we're 2.7 million, there's 3 years out. We haven't even gotten to 5 years yet. And then we're 10 million, and then we're 30 million, and we're 5 years out, and all we did is the same thing that Bitcoin has statistically done many, 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 many times. So it's I don't want to get in the way of that. I don't want to, penny pinch or what's the saying? Bend over in front of a cement mixer to pick up a nickel. And if you know that your cash, in savings, is just getting eroded faster than you can make it, that should be frightening to people. Just and also kind of frustrating. Jesus, why am I busting my ass if I'm really only getting paid half 20 years from now? So you start thinking, is there some place I could put my money where I don't have to be there every day clicking buttons and speculating and doing all this bullshit and following CNBC and all these idiots like Kramer. And anyway, you can just buy some Bitcoin, and that's your hedge against all that.
So it's interesting to me, and I don't know how much you think about stuff like this, but obviously Elon Musk is a guy who's very, very familiar with the crypto world. I know he's recently kind of gotten back into the game a little bit, but him being tied at the hip with Trump now, and Trump being the guy who people are, hey, I voted for Trump because of crypto, is hilarious to me. It was hilarious to me when he spoke at Bitcoin 2024 and signed off with, have fun with your Bitcoin or whatever else you're playing with. It's almost like how confused I am that Trump is able to sell his message to rural people who have nothing in common with him. Donald Trump has absolutely no idea how blockchain or crypto or Bitcoin work. Yet somehow this old money finance guy is like the savior for Bitcoin and for crypto. And it is hilarious to me because it's working, but he's not a guy who could explain any of this to you. Does that strike you as odd?
No, he's a survivor.
Well, I mean, he survived largely because he took an inheritance, and if he had just simply put it in the S&P 500, he would have more money now.
True, but he survived other things too. Like he's like the definition of a survivor. And by the way, I'm not here nor there. I don't have a horse in this race. I bet with my wallet and nothing else.
Sure.
But this is a guy that's been pinned against the ropes over and over and over, and he finds a way. And also, he and his family have been in the crypto space for a couple of years, and they've made a lot of money. So I don't think it takes much to imagine that he is pro crypto. He also saw a group of people, up and coming wealthy people, that are going to inherit a lot of the kind of controlling positions, at least in finance, in the future. And he said, not a bad idea to court these guys. And if in the process he learned about NFTs and put $10 million in his back pocket and all this kind of stuff, cool. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't care if he hates crypto. I know that he's made money off crypto, and when you've made money off something, you kind of like it.
Yeah, and in the general anti-regulation thing, I mean, that applies to several other, parts of the financial sector, and we know that that's true to what he's been about. Yeah,
but they're already putting in place, like Cynthia Loomis has pushed forward this idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which would have been asinine a year ago. And now you're like, well, if Bitcoin does continue to melt up and it is a fixed asset with a fixed supply, and those things are true, we've never had an actual scarce asset on Earth, not where we know the supply in real time, all the time, and we know where all of it is all the time. It's not like gold, where you may be able to get it off a comet, or you go find another mountain full of gold in Southern California. This is an asset where for sure this is the scarcity, this is the amount, here's where it is. And if you see this asset becoming part of balance sheets, right, 2-3% here, 2-3%. Pennsylvania just came out and said they're going to try to allocate a percentage of their $7 billion. They have like a fund in their state pension fund, about $7 billion of it. They're going to earmark some of that, or at least try to earmark some of that towards Bitcoin. And there's about 10 other states that are likely to follow. If 2 or 3 states do it, every state does it. Then the provincial and rural banks will do it because they would have to, because once hedging behavior kicks in, you have to hedge other people's hedge. Like if all of you guys are like, we're holding this and this and this, I'm like, well, I guess I got to do that too, because that's what you do as a confident fiduciary. So it will start this kind of behavior that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if the U.S. buys 1 million Bitcoin, that right there is intense. So let's say they say, okay, the plan is over the next so many years, we're going to buy up to 1 million Bitcoin and hold it for the United States as a hedge against the insanity that we see with the little debt clock. So if that happens, there's your double or triple in the price of Bitcoin over the next, with nothing different, just that over the next 2 to 3 years. Then you have other companies and states, and then think about outside the United States, these smaller countries, the El Salvadors and things that everybody warned them, what are you doing? Why are you guys buying Bitcoin? And it's the best decision they ever made for their country. So this kind of has a domino effect. And nothing in finance, everyone's a lemming. none of these bankers have an original thought. So they're just going to pile on in the trade. Well, they have been. You're already seeing it. And what happens when the guys in Dubai get involved? I say guys because women get hit with rocks. But the guys in Dubai that have all the money, and they go, I want myself a million Bitcoin. So when that piles and piles and piles, it just becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's like, I just don't want to get in the way of that. I don't think people should go piling. I think people should do what these banks are doing. They should say, you know what? I'm going to put 3 to 5% of my savings in Bitcoin, where I know that it's unlikely that it's going to implode like the rest of the cash. You know, the saying in finance is cash is trash, because you've got to be able to make more money on your savings than you're losing to debasement. So if you're not beating it, you're just lighting that money on fire. And that money is moments of your life you traded for some asshole to give you currency units. So you traded them and you just put it in a bank and watch it light on fire. So for me, that makes me panicked.
So don't sell, Dan.
That's, I think the short answer is don't sell.
Yeah, that's a quick one.
So speaking of Elon, though, I know you've always said you don't like the stuff like Doge, the silly little coins like that, but Elon is pretty stoked on Doge. Is there any chance that at least Doge becomes something bigger because of
social memes and all this kind of stuff? They are real. I mean, I can't discount those things. That's just not the way I think as an investor. But I kind of say, like, to each his own. I know one of my buddies is a World Series of Poker player. He's great. He makes a lot of money, like ridiculous money, doing ridiculous things. But he's good at those ridiculous things. So whatever your jam is investment-wise, I don't think meme coins and crap like that are investing. I think they're gambling. But as long as you're honest with yourself and you say, yeah, I'm gambling on electric money that really has no value other than this kind of meme value. But you could also argue from the other side of it, like, well, memes are very powerful, and there's like a social value to that, which I can't discount that, because many of these meme coins have reached valuations of well over $1 billion, and there's nothing there. It's just a picture of a frog or whatever. But if enough people want the frog picture, the problem is that typically those things, they move fast and they deteriorate fast. And so a lot of money gets hoovered up and people start getting caught up in it. And my only worry is that those kinds of assets, they give people the think that, like, I think I'm investing, and really you're gambling. And then when all the money goes away because two influencers are like, I'm out, and the whole thing goes to zero or close to zero, there's a bunch of people that are like, wait a minute, but I don't understand. I thought I was investing. So as long as people understand what they're doing, I mean, more power to the memes. And plus, they're kind of funny. Like, there's one with the dog with a hat. Like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very funny to me that they named this new department the Department of Government Efficiency and put Elon in charge of it. It literally just, as a press release, it says DOGE.
Yeah,
like, they're just trolling every single.
But you know what? I can't wait to be a fly on the wall for those discussions.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different.
It's going to be must-watch TV. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. But, I mean, I guess bringing it back to investments, as long as people understand what they're doing, I'm cool with people doing whatever they want. That's not my path, but it's not for me to tell someone else not to do it. I know that I know people that are heavy in the meme coin space, and I've massacred them return-wise by doing little or nothing and just trying to buy what I think is high quality-ish in the crypto space and just waiting. Like, mostly the best move is just no move. So, you know, Dan, if you had traded in and out of Bitcoin over and over, what are the chances that you would have nailed it just right every time and still be in Bitcoin?
Probably 90, 95%. I'm pretty good at that. Yeah.
Right, but for everyone else, it'd be tough.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, real dumb guy question here. I get the meme coin is the value is basically what society makes it at the time. But if Bitcoin and Ethereum, like, what is the value in those? Like, what, you know, if we go back to the cash standard, it's based on gold, which is rarity. What I have a loose understanding of that. But why is Bitcoin, why does that have a value?
I think that, well, a value proposition is weird because what's valuable to one person is valuable or not to another person. So that's a weird kind of opaque kind of thing to discuss. But the way I see it is a hedge against stupidity is kind of like a simple way to say that I like this asset that no one can tell me what I can or can't do with it at any time of the day, anywhere in the world, forever. An asset that I have to willingly give it up. No one can take it. I can go murder 65 people, get on a plane, and I still got my Bitcoin. I shouldn't, but I could. And so I have that forever. And there's a lot of value in actual true possession, which I think if you look in your life, there's not many things that we don't really possess anything, right? Like we kind of hold stuff and then give it off to whoever, and then they squander it. That's like the cycle. But in the case of Bitcoin, like people even joke like, well, if you memorize your passphrase, and they say, okay, well, what happens when you die? You can't take it with you. Well, if you memorize your passphrase, maybe you can take it with you. You just wake up on the other side with your passphrase and log in to whatever. So it's the idea of an immutable system of money that you have control over, and no one can stop you. If you want to send it anywhere in the world at any time, you can do that. No one can stop you. And I think for me, that's where the value is. The fact that it has all these comparisons to gold and inflation hedges and all that, this is a lot of it's window dressing, but enough people believe that it's valuable to actually truly possess an asset and be able to do transactions with people you don't know and don't have to worry about it. There's a lot of value in that. So you can do business with people you do not trust, but the network, there's so much trust embedded in the network that you can do that transaction. With money, you can't quite do that. Like, you're like, okay, I'll bring the duffel bag. Please don't kill me. I just think there's value in that. But everybody's going to find value in different ways. In Venezuela, where there was kind of like socialized electricity, people were buying old Bitcoin miners because electricity is free, and they were using it as their currency debases, like 1,000,000% inflation a year. They were using Bitcoin miners to make little bitty bits of Bitcoin, but because their currency was inflating so fast, that fed like thousands and thousands of families. And the cops were like raiding people's homes and grabbing Bitcoin miners and going to the cop shop and plugging them in. So you do have scenarios like that where Bitcoin actually saved people's lives in a really weird way, and obviously in a really screwed up situation. And then, of course, you have that other percentage of people that were lucky, the lucky early rich ones that were like, oh, I bought $15 worth of Bitcoin when it was 8 cents, and I forgot about it, and now I'm rich and I'm giving financial advice. There's that too. So you like kind of scrape the top off and don't listen to like that group. But if that means something to you, this idea of transacting in a trustless world, then I think there's a lot of value there, and that's been supported by the fact that still. Bitcoin is the most appreciating asset in human history, and there's no point longer than 24 hours yet where if someone told you to buy Bitcoin and you did it, you wouldn't be winning ever. So you see something like that, and you go, well, I don't want to stand in the way of it. I sure don't want to go short against it. I don't want to, stand in front of that cement mixer.
So, last one for me. Why exactly do you think that the CIA created it?
Yeah, they were bored. They were lazy.
That's what I've heard.
That and space and time travel, right? Like those CIA projects
created Bitcoin,
which ironically is funny because as he's talking about with using it for criminal purposes. And the idea of, like, as he said, we're sending X amount of billions or millions to some small African country, and like, why? What is it? The CIA absolutely pays for illegal operations with cryptocurrency. So when people put forward the idea of like, oh, they would not. They don't want their activity traced.
No. And the problem with crypto, I don't know if people realize, there's nothing private about crypto.
Yeah.
You can see every transaction that's ever happened in the history of history. There are a few specific projects that are privacy focused, where they mix. The idea is you mix up a bunch of transactions and then resend those transactions to different wallets, and it obscures a lot of behavior. But nothing is invisible in all of crypto, and so it's the worst thing for criminals to use. But it's like shooting someone and then just go to the cops with the gun and be like, here, you guys are going to need this in a few months when you find that body in my trunk. When that thing really starts to smell. So, like, you don't do crime with crypto. That's stupid. What you do is you do business really fast. Like JP Morgan Chase, which talks trash about crypto all the time, they process over $1 billion a day in repo transactions. So like 2-party and 3-party repo transactions every single day, billions every day from the thing that they don't like. Well, now they've adjusted it where they say we don't like Bitcoin, but we like other stuff. We like crypto. I like blockchain, but not Bitcoin, which is kind of a silly argument. I like living, but not oxygen. Well, okay.
So, you got any plugs? How can people find you on YouTube? Just search Nick Black?
Nick Black Live. We do a show 5 days a week, and it's kind of always educational. And we just try to talk about what's new and what's current and just steer people from being dumb. There's a lot of ways to be dumb in crypto. There's more ways to be dumb than be smart. But on the other side of it, you don't have to be that smart to make nice returns, which I think are at a minimum comparable, but likely way better than like your traditional 401k type returns and your stock market kind of edge investment type returns. So I think even if people don't really like crypto, it's important. What we talk about a lot of like financial common sense, like just looking at a situation and saying that's stupid. Don't give those idiots your money. And I think that kind of common sense, rational financial thinking, you can use that everywhere, right? Like it propagates to your whole life.
You still do a show with Anthony Scaramucci? Do you know that he did, Jake?
I recall that, yeah.
Jake was a big fan.
Anthony and I are friends, and we diverge on choices as far as investment choices. I think if he had listened more to me, they would be about $9 billion richer in Skybridge. He did not, and they are not.
All right. Well, we'll check you out on YouTube, and appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Nick.
That is the great Nick Black. Would like to do the news, and it is brought to you by Factor Meals.
Oh, my.
Do you have one today? Most days I see you eating one of these.
I ate it literally moments before I came over here today.
Okay.
I did. I'm a huge fan. Today I had the roasted tomato and feta cavatappi. Yesterday was the red pepper queso ground turkey. I am a customer for life. For real. My wife and I are big fans of Factor. Nice portion size, so you don't eat too much, which I definitely have a problem with. If we make dinner, I will eat all of it.
Yeah, that's healthy.
This food is so good, and I'm not even like a huge vegetable guy, to be honest. But I am like in love with their broccoli. The last 2 meals I had came with broccoli, and it's great.
See, I like to eat the same thing every day, but Factor Meals, you can mix and match. They offer 35 different meals every week, including Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, Vegan, Veggie. So you always got something different if you want. Or you could probably buy just all the same meal, if like me.
You can, and I'm about 50-50 on whether or not I remember to pick my meals. And I'm like, damn, I didn't get what I want. I've liked every single meal they've sent me. So go to Factor. Do I have the website in front of me? I do not. Head to factormeals.com/dumbzone50. You'll get 50% off your first box, 20% off your next month. That's factormeals.com/dumbzone50. Factor Meals, they are delicious, they are healthy, they are legit.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
Would you mind sending me one to wherever I can hear your podcast? I'm assuming you're no longer doing the radio stuff that you were doing.
Yep.
But I would love to know more about
We'll get back to you.
And in fact, if you've got a podcast that I can like and subscribe, I would love to have a chance to listen to it.
We will.
Sorry.
This is a wild story. And something Dan and I were actually just talking about recently. Now, he can fill in details at his discretion on this story, but more than $5 million worth of cars have been stolen from DFW Airport by an organized crime ring.
Really?
Yeah. Now, as the story states right up top, it's 52 cars, so you do some math, and they're going for the luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not my Mazda.
No, I mean, I love my Ford Explorer from Chaz and Grapevine and Prosper Ford, but you're probably not stealing it. Although it is I think like my Honda Accord, when that got stolen years ago, I was told this is the most stolen car. Now, because I have like at least a child statistics brain, I thought this is probably just the most purchased car.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I do know some are easier to steal than others or whatever, but yeah, this crime ring is out of Houston. They are thought to be a Cuban auto theft group. $5 million worth of vehicles from DFW. They target airports all over this part of the country: Louisiana, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, and Texas. They reprogram key fobs, change the car's vehicle identification number. Really, in the truest sense, give me the VIN. Just take it and then replace it. And then they drive them to Mexico.
It's easy to get into Mexico, right? Easier.
Very easy. I walked in one time.
Do they have they don't have cameras in those parking garages, do they?
I'm sure they do, but how are they gonna? If you're disguised to a decent degree and you go in, you just unlock the car, you drive out. It's got a toll tag. You're out. I mean,
boy, you're giving a good blueprint
Yeah,
for people to.
Why don't we just go do
I would
that?
think so. I mean, because
But you're right. The toll tag being hanging on the mirror, at least you're going to save $20.
and it's a $100,000 car, right? On average, it's probably going to have a toll tag.
Yeah.
So you could, I mean, the big thing is when they trace together like 10 cameras to figure out like where did this person come from.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that you could probably get around that. Like you can't walk into
How many
the
cameras
airport.
do you have to trace back to Cuba?
Boy, that's a lot. You're right.
To figure out where they came from. What were you saying is the local news story that we were talking about? That?
No, we were talking about cars at the airport. You and I.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Just when you park, when you don't, like how long to leave it, whatever.
Do you want me to tell my evil plan?
I didn't want to tell it for you.
Do you think it's a good bit?
Yeah, I think it's a great bit.
So I'm going to Clemson to see my daughter at Clemson next Thursday, I think it is. Wednesday or Thursday. And then my other daughter goes to college in New York, but she's coming back for Thanksgiving week. Clemson daughter is not coming back because she kind of works for the football team. She's kind of Dabo's right-hand man. She's working on game plans. Now, she's just trying to get him back to
to be
prominence.
honest, look at the staff and the position that she's in. How many of those students in that group, how many of them, their parent has met Dabo and been in his office?
That's right.
I would venture
Probably
to
just
guess
one.
that it's one.
Yeah. I've been in got a picture made with his wife as well. Anyway.
Miss Terry. Oh, Miss Terry.
All right, so you get the scene. I'm leaving to go to Clemson to visit one daughter, but other daughter's coming home, like the next day. So I won't be here to pick her up. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is drive my car and park it at the airport and tell her the section I parked it in. Because yesterday, I UPS'd her the backup key.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't have to leave the key at the car. So she will fly from New York to here. Just have to go to section whatever. level 1, wherever, and just hit the key and try to find it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
home.
great.
I'll have to pay 1 day of parking.
Yeah.
Instead of Uber rides back and forth or 5 days of parking or whatever.
Yeah, now she's got the car, and
she'll pick us up Sunday.
And, I know that there are some people who will just hide their key.
At the car?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well...
Well, the key fob, if you hide your key fob, won't it just open?
You probably,
Or do you have to be, next to the door?
You do. You have to be next to the door, but...
Yeah.
You could probably... I think it makes it easier. No, I think you got a good bit there. They've been investigating this group of Cubans since February. They have identified 14 alleged members, 3 suspects arrested so far. So, yeah. This is a cautionary tale right here. I know that our good friend T.C. Fleming does this as part of his rideshare career, and that is he'll do an off-the-books ride on you.
Okay.
And I know that he's not okay with me he's okay with me saying that because he advertises for it on our podcast.
Like, contact me, I'll pick you up.
He'll take. I think he mostly just does it for the airport, but he does it all the time.
I had a buddy that lived in Denton that did that for
write that down, Blake.
Casino. You write it down. You present it the first of next month.
Jack, write that down.
Blake had a buddy.
Don't write that down.
Ooh.
Yeah, he would pick a guy up for like $200, drive him to the casino, and just wait on him.
That's awesome.
Smoke cigarettes, and just wait, and then take him back. But yeah, off the books.
I personally, at this juncture of my life, would recommend going to eliterides-dfw.com for something like that, but that didn't exist when your buddy was doing that.
No.
But yeah, it can, it's already kind of sketch, I guess, doing rideshare. TC has stories every week where I'm like, damn, that seems like that could have gone bad. Well, in Fort Worth, a Lyft driver was shot 3 times as he dropped off one of his previous passengers during what Fox 4 on their website calls a, quote, off-platform ride. It was an off-the-books ride with a passenger that the driver recently met.
So the reason to stay on the platform is so you'll know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cover.
But I've had this happen to me
a little
before.
Insurance.
The guy who's in the hospital told Fox 4 he met the gunman last week while giving him a Lyft ride and offered his phone number for any future off-the-books rides. Because, I've gone to a sporting event before, and we had a good driver probably put up with me and my wife and 4 other drunk couples, and he's like, hey, hit me up. I'll be around. And we did. And we paid less, and he got to keep more of it. He's like, hey, when you're done, meet me here.
Yeah, you're eliminating the middleman.
Yeah, it's better for everyone, as long as they don't shoot you.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get shot.
I don't think I do.
I would rather be shot than stabbed.
Depends on there's a much wider range of shooting than stabbing. Don't you think?
I'd like to be shot like Trump. Kind of barely grazed, but there's tons of blood, and it looks real cool.
And your ear just looks totally fine
like
4 days later. I don't know. I have to really mentally block myself on engaging in that conspiracy. Like, there's definitely a part of me that's
right
like,
away
what?
was like, that's
my
fake.
mom, too, when I told her about it. And she saw the video, she's like, come on. And my mom is a Republican.
Yeah.
And she's not a Trump fan by any means, but she's like, this doesn't look real to me. And then all the evidence after, but then in my head, I'm like, am I just saying that because he's, quote, not my guy? Like, would I believe it if it happened to
AOC?
I was gonna say Biden, and then I stopped and was like, yeah, but Biden is the furthest thing from my guy as you could imagine. But yeah, well, I can promise you that if the AOC thing went down, like, we'd be getting to the bottom of this thing, and I'd be like fucking Liam Neeson. Anybody that shooter had ever met would be paying for it. Okay. Guess I'm muted. Am I not muted? Do you keep
you know what? If I lean forward, you're going to play that gay sounder, and we're going to do a story that nobody wants to hear. So you know what? I'm not unmuting you.
Unmute me.
You settle this.
Unmute me right now.
I like bits. Come on.
Unmute me.
Don't put me in the middle of you two arguing.
You?
We're all 3.
Unmute me.
You are.
Death, despair, assault. It's time for bad news with the Dumb Zone News Desk.
You may recall that a few months ago we were talking about
bits are fun, Blake.
Investigation.
You never know what bit you're going to get.
There was an investigation in the Lewisville Police Department. Do you guys recall what it was about? I got hose.
Oh, they were going too far with prostitutes.
That is correct. There was an operation at massage parlors where several officers had to be reprimanded and reminded of the rules.
See, they were doing stings for like happy ending massages, but then they would actually go through with the entire thing and then say, hey,
you're
not supposed to do that.
Got to make sure, yeah.
So apparently
Back to blue.
There's a 5-minute rule as far as touching goes, and it's really not supposed to go up to that point. And they're able to.
No problem.
They're supposed to basically obtain probable cause, which it's hilarious how this works because typically, in my experience, police officers get a little liberal with what constitutes probable cause, and they're like, "No, I smelt it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Though I don't have anything." It appears that in this case, they're like, "I don't think I quite have probable cause yet.
I'm getting there.
I'm getting very probable." So they're supposed to stop once they have obtained probable cause, and they were not. So
That's not back in the blue.
Now
That's back in the blue balls.
I like that.
That's pretty good.
And I'm against that.
So what we have now are more graphic details that have been released, and the top cop, number one, Brooke Rollins in Lewisville, sat down with WFAA. You know you're in for something good on a local news story, especially if you can get this note and it doesn't involve the child, when you get hit with the editor's note. The following article contains graphic details of sexual activities. Read at your discretion.
You're going to get a lot of clicks on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, again, they had announced that they had concluded their internal inquiry into the misconduct in the unit that works undercover prostitution stings, spas, massage parlors, fired 3 officers, suspended 7 others, and now there are these newly obtained documents that also show that some of the original documents had been altered by some of the superiors. Like, they saw what the officers told IAD and were like, what is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
We don't tell them that.
Okay.
So, in one instance, an officer, quote, allowed 2 nude suspected prostitutes to massage his genitals and, quote, rub their bare breast in his face.
2 at once?
Yeah. His discipline letter stated this. Quote, there is no legal or operational necessity to allow this physical contact. I'm going to tell you the necessity. It's dudes being dudes.
I needed
loving
to see.
tits.
I needed proof.
In another instance, an officer, quote, allowed a suspected prostitute to touch him for over 5 minutes after the point at which department regs dictate an undercover officer must stop an encounter. That officer, actually both of those 2 were suspended without pay for 2 days. Again, I will reference Kenny Wu of the Mighty Ducks. 2 minutes, well worth it.
Yeah, that's a long weekend.
Yeah, I would always, not now, but it used to be when working for the man, I wanted to be suspended for a couple days. Wouldn't that be great?
It's pretty good.
Have you been suspended, actually?
I think I actually didn't get paid, actually, now that I think about it.
But you got suspended.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to work for a couple days.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, though, the grind of work, you're like, boy, I would definitely trade 2 days of a paycheck just to let me have a couple more days off, because that doesn't count towards vacation days.
No, it doesn't.
Because they count those, man. At the end of the year, they're like, nope, sorry, you've taken this many.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sometimes
you're now working Christmas Eve.
Got to use sick days when your kid's in the NICU.
Yeah.
You know? In another encounter, a different officer asked 2 suspected prostitutes to take their clothes off after obtaining probable cause and did not break contact with the women as they continued to touch him for more than 20 minutes. So, like, he's agreed to pay, they're naked, and instead of arresting him, he's like, let's see if we can knock out a little 20 minutes.
I'm really not sure if you're really into it.
I'm not letting this case slip, okay? I want to be sure of this.
Yeah, these are guys.
Story.
Yeah.
Let's see. One of the ones who actually was fired allegedly recruited other officers and city employees to go undercover at a massage business. Now that line really stuck out to me.
Come here, trash man.
Yeah, what are you just going down to the guy who fixes the printer? You know, you want to go on a sting with hookers? Like, not even another cop? One employee told IAD, the officer told him, quote, he wouldn't have to worry about the money. They get the money from the city to do these type of investigations.
Hell yeah.
And, quote, sometimes when they go in there, they get hand jobs, blow jobs, and have sex with the massage business workers as part of the investigation.
This rules.
There was a female coworker who overheard those remarks and corroborated them to internal affairs.
What a narc.
Yeah.
What happened to the blue wall?
The thin blue line, the blue wall.
Something, I don't
know. So this is how the chief decides to play this, and he's new, by the way. He said there was no evidence.
He walks into this?
He either walked into it or it happened right when he started.
Okay.
Let's see. He said there's no evidence that the officers had intercourse with any of the people they were investigating. Notice he did not cover the Beach and the Hange.
Mm-hmm.
He also said
Clinton.
that the suspected prostitutes initiated the sexual touching in every case. Like, come on.
They started it.
Yeah.
Let's see. One officer suspended 5 days, no pay. He recruited 6 other officers to participate and instructed them to, quote, prepare to be touched by the prostitute. What is he telling them to, hey, like, rub one out at home first. You don't want to bust too quick when you get in there.
We need more than 5 minutes.
You think that's ever happened where a dude's like, hey, we got to get at least X amount of minutes for this to be probable cause, and he just goes in there. Ugh.
Be right back.
It seems like it'd be pretty exciting if it was your,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, your cop, yeah.
Pretty exciting situation, yeah.
Of course, he's asked about, like, why are these guys getting 2 days suspension? He said, I think that's equitable for the circumstances. The supervisor's disciplined for ignoring concerns about the operations. You know, everybody always had a fucking Terry, like on the strike team. We shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they had modified some reports, etc. Fun times for the Lewisville police.
Okay, that was worth it.
You don't get to tell me
that
what was and wasn't worth it,
that was great.
Okay?
I'm glad you did that.
Dallas restaurateur. Oh, you know what? I guess actually I could play this one, just at least the first one. Death. At 69 years old, Dallas restaurateur Al Burnett has passed after a battle with a rare form of ALS.
Al Burnett was a person, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was called Al Burnett. I never knew what it meant.
He just thought it was like a spread on a sandwich.
I don't know. It sounds so...
It does kind of...
exotic.
It does sound like a spread. Al Burnet's, yeah.
Yeah.
And just into the new...
God bless it, Cynthia.
You're muted.
Oh, you mother... They opened Al Burnet's on Oaklawn in 1998. They opened another one over on Spring Valley. And when I was a kid...
Have you been
a teen? No, I haven't been. The concept of just the name Al Burnet's just meant Dallas is money.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anybody who'd ever been, but I'd heard the name, and it just seemed to me like that's what you do if you live in Dallas. You go to steakhouses, and you have money. But I'll tell you what really bums me out when I see stories like this, because he was only 69 years old. What really rocks me is when super rich people die relatively young and not from an accident.
You'd rather him be 90.
Because in my mind, I'm like, damn, if you can't beat the system when you're raking in cash, like, I got no shot.
Yeah, there's some things in nature you just can't beat.
Yeah, some. But I don't know. I feel like you definitely have a better chance of...
secret cancer treatments that
100%.
They're not telling the normal people?
I absolutely believe that.
I just hope to be able to make enough that I could get one of those.
You won't.
Oh.
No chance.
What about the whole, I got a Bitcoin?
That's good. At some point, that's going to end
I just
up
need
being
like 1 million
seized
of them
from you.
Yeah.
And Nick Black is going to be asking if he can borrow real money from me. Hard-earned dollars depreciating by the day. There's your Dumb Zone news.
The Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Dan.
We have a few viewer birthdays. Hello, Pussy Mooser.
What?
I sent a birthday email Monday to the wrong address. Thank goodness for Hotmail and its advanced technology of copy and paste. Happy birthday to my son, Casey Hunter. He's 42 from his dad, Lee. Jake is his leader.
Hell yeah.
He would like to hear the Blake Poop song you played once Blake became a DZer from Lee Hunter. Do you remember that, Blake?
Yeah, it was really weird.
Blake Poop.
P.S. If you ever need a personal bartender for the Dragon Den, I'm available.
Blake Poop.
I don't.
Blake. Oh, whoa.
Dear God, Snatch God.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Little Sham God.
Today is the Jordan back from hiding out after his dad was killed over his gambling debts birthday of fellow DF Ryan Mattox. His leaders are Danny's autism comedy set and Jake for showing tremendous strength and bravery in the face of adversity. Much like Black Noir in the Emmy-nominated television series The Boys, streaming on Amazon Prime. More Video Man off-mic laughter, less staggering legal fees from Jason.
Happy birthday, guy who's 45.
Sloth says the guy named Will, who gave Jake and Blake his Mavericks tickets last week, had a birthday on Sunday. Will is 38. Donovan is his leader.
Great seats, great time, right
Great.
up until the end.
Great dude.
Dan, my son Granger is 10 today. I told him I was writing to the Dumb Zone guys.
Don't like that.
Graynger.
Could be.
This email might be read on the show. Asked if is there anything he'd like me to add. He said, can you tell him I roasted someone at school yesterday? We were playing soccer. A kid with a curly mullet pushed me. I pushed him back, and he said, red card for pushing, bro. I told him, red card on your barber, bro. Because he has a mullet.
Okay.
That's from Michael Snap.
Hey.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Granger Snap. It's interesting.
Kind of like Ginger Snap.
Yeah.
Captain Clitoris. This week we celebrate the 44th birthday of Jason Dickface Zancher. I don't know. I think I pronounced his nickname correctly. He's a member of our opening day Bang Bus crew.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Letty.
Is it almost open? Are we in truck day yet?
No, not yet.
I feel like the Rangers haven't played in a long time.
Letty asked if we wanted to go do the show again from the Bang Bus.
Of course we do. I thought that was going to be an anal tradition.
Okay.
His leaders are Gary Glitter and Jeffrey Jones, the actor who played Ed Rooney and Ferris Bueller. More Chappie from Chad. I have two more. Dear Deputy Director of the Dick Depository, today is my cousin Tony's birthday. He's 61. His leaders are Dan's pet bird and the insane amount of hours Blake puts in for the Dumb Zone.
I forgot about your pet bird.
Not about the hours.
P.S. Pussy Jake bragging.
I like where this is headed.
Bragging about driving his car with no music and no podcasts on is not good for the DZ business. Most listen while in the car.
What?
Dumb Zone Marketing should have caught this and taken the corrective action with Hab Boy.
What the fuck does that like? So because I sit in silence, like, am I supposed to listen to our show?
You're supposed to lead from the front, Jake.
That is the weirdest email I've ever heard in my life.
That's from BH. And Dear Fuhrer Scallop Splitter.
Notice Blake also said he does that, but nobody wants to throw at everybody's internet darling, Blake Jones.
I listen to the show enough while cutting it up. Darling.
I want to wish Heart Attack Man a happy birthday.
Blow me up, dog.
I'll be in Cleveland until Friday. Tell him to hit me up. This is from Nima Shabazi.
It's his birthday?
Apparently it's Heart Attack Man's birthday, according to Nima.
Should we call him?
He'll be on tomorrow.
He will be on tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know. You want to go 5 hours today? How long do you want to go?
I think I respect
call him and he
Blake
could
just
sit
being
in on
committed
Today in
to
History
content, but
Well,
we'll
then
do it
call him.
tomorrow. All right, everybody chill out. Back to your corners.
Oh.
I know this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson thing has everybody fired up.
Okay. Well, there's that. Now, we do want to do one more thing. It is Today in History, and it's going to be brought to you by the Frankels.
Frankel and Frankel.
Frankel and Frankel, personal injury attorneys. They will fight for you to get you what you deserve.
That's correct. If today in history you get in a car accident, call them right away at 214-817-333-3333. You'll talk to one of them. They're not going to pawn you off on their jack. You'll talk to a partner. They're based in Dallas. They're here to fight for you.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, well, thanks, Jessup. They have over 100 years of combined experience, which means they know how to craft a case to drive maximum outcomes for you. You only had one drop.
Oh, you want another drop?
You want answers?
Yeah.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
Yeah,
you can't handle the truth.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of the same one, just an extended play version.
Yeah, how about this?
That's for you. That's what you're going to get. If that's what you deserve, that's what they're going to get, and they're going to get the most of it.
Yeah.
Maximum.
At Frankel and Frankel, 214 or 817, then dial all threes.
Hey, Claire, did you just get rear-ended by that truck, and it wasn't your fault?
I did. Cornelius Falcon, what should I do?
Pick up your phone and start pressing threes, you ungrateful monster.
Yeah.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in History.
With Jess Walker.
Dude, Jess.
Dude.
Yeah, dude, Jess.
It's dudes being dudes.
Just bros. So it's Thursday, November 14th.
So the cop is in there. She's naked. There's been a transaction, but he doesn't know if she's up to no good.
Yeah,
she
just
rubs
gonna
her
have
tits
to
on his
gonna have to figure this one out. You know?
I was going to say the 5-minute rule. I mean, it's either going to go 1 minute or it's going to take me an hour in this situation if I'm the cop.
Interesting.
So,
I see. Okay, you're saying you do the 1 minute, you've got the probable cause, and you're out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. I'm saying
you're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna hardcore it.
So I think the cops they probably got a few more than they paid for.
If it's the city's money.
On this day in 1970, a chartered Southern Airways DC-9 crashed while trying to land in West Virginia, killing all 75 people on board, including the Marshall University football team and his coaching staff. And no one really cared. It was Marshall. They were like, all right. I mean, if it was Alabama, this would be a bit bigger, correct? It's just Marshall.
Yeah. But, yeah, McConaughey.
McConaughey lived.
McConaughey lived. On this day,
DC-9, you know what that makes me think of?
Scientology.
Yes.
Evil Lord Xenu.
Yes.
On this day in 1996, Juan Gonzalez defeated Alex Rodriguez for the MVP. Second closest victory margin.
Maybe you should trade Juan now.
Maybe you should trade Juan now. I don't know. I think it was talked about at the station earlier today.
Was this when we thought A-Rod and Griffey were splitting the vote? Or was this...
Yeah, I don't know.
Back then, did they think Pudge and Wando split the vote? I don't know. Who cares?
I don't know, because I was 12. So.
On this day in 2017, Papa John's Pizza apologized for comments made by CEO John Schnatter, who had blamed sluggish pizza sales on NFL players kneeling during the national anthem.
That's awesome.
That explains the Open. On this day in 2018, Jacob deGrom of the Mets won the NL Cy Young Award. What was the big note out of this one, Baseball Blake?
He only started like 18 games or something.
What?
I don't know about
shortened
that.
Season?
He had 10 victories.
Okay, maybe that's it.
That was the thing. The lowest amount by any starting pitcher who won a Cy Young.
10-9.
This is the day in 2019 that I was at Cleveland Stadium. Myles Garrett of the Browns ripped off the helmet of quarterback Mason Rudolph of the Steelers and struck him in the head with it.
What year?
2019. Pre-COVID. Barely.
And on this day in... What?
That happened in 2019?
Do you feel like that happened when we were on the show together?
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Hell, I don't know.
Then did I get this game wrong or the date wrong?
It's probably not worth a stop down, but I thought I was on the show.
2019.
Okay, my bad.
So you weren't on the program with us?
No, just in my heart.
And on this day in 2021, a 9-year-old Dallas boy was the 10th and the youngest person to die from injuries during a crowd surge at the Astro World Music Festival in Houston 9 days earlier.
Yeah. Went sicko mode.
Birthdays, we have former Cowboy T.Y. Hilton, 35.
Boy, I had big hopes.
I had that long third down catch against the Eagles.
What's he doing these days?
Taylor Hall is 33. He is a hockey man, the number 1 overall pick in 2010. That year, Tyler Seguin was number 2 overall pick. Oh, Dorian Thompson-Robinson is 25 today.
DTR.
Kurt Schilling is 58.
Is he the video games guy? No. He is? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was him or Lenny Dykstra. I mean, I know he's, like, really political.
What's he doing with video games?
I think he ended up in pretty serious debt over a failed video game company.
Oh.
Again, he's on that list just like with some of the stuff that Trump wants. Like, yeah, when I was a kid, I definitely was like, what do you want to do? Video game company.
Chip Gaines is 50.
Yeah, the IRS is going to figure him out.
Jake doesn't think they pay taxes.
There's no way they do. Their entire thing is a front.
Dan Carlin is 59.
Speaking of hardcore.
Hardcore History Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
King Charles the Third is 76.
The one that like looks terrible? No, that's the older one.
Don't they all look terrible?
No, yeah, but there's the one. One of them just died, right?
The one looks like death. Yes.
Yeah.
He just looks really British.
He does.
Prince Charles.
He most certainly does.
Condoleezza Rice, 70.
The Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm. On the short list for Browns head coach.
And once upon a time on the college football playoff selection committee.
Yeah, she's oddly into sports.
I guess I thought it was okay for a woman to...
Yeah, I don't think it's odd at all.
She's a politician.
I don't see her like that.
See Trump long off the tee, unlike Cuban.
Patrick Warburton is 60. That is Putty on Seinfeld. Vanessa Bayer is 43. SNL?
No idea.
You'd know her if you saw her.
Oh,
you're kind of SNL guy.
Well, she's. I think you should leave. She's at the girls' lunch date, and they're like, a couple girls are like kind of talking trash to each other with like cutesy terms, like out porking out with these ladies, and then she's like, these. She posts a photo and she's like, these sloppy, stupid cunts are out here having lunch, and they're like, whoa.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, she's really filthy.
I like her even more now.
And funny.
Born in Cleveland.
She looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Astronaut Fred Haise is 91. He is one of 12 astronauts who flew to the moon but didn't get to go down on the moon. They were like really, really, really close to the moon.
He got moon cucked?
They should rotate that.
They have to.
Like, you should let everybody go to the moon.
Tag your homie in.
Yeah. But 12 guys have done that. And just looking at the old list of astronauts, like you said, you're sad if a really rich guy dies at a relatively young age. Most astronauts seem to live to like 90.
There's something there.
Now, is it because they got magic space stuff out there
or
that
because
went
they're
into
in
their
great
veins?
shape?
Yeah, or because they're among the elites.
Yeah.
Now, if LeBron decided he wanted to be an astronaut, he
the best.
Yeah.
The best. And I will tell you right now, LeBron James is going to space.
Okay.
It's a pretty good call.
You're agreeing with that, Blake?
Yeah, I'm going to write that down.
You just feel like a guy with tons of money, space travel is becoming more.
He enjoys being the center of attention.
Yeah, it would be a big deal. It would be a huge cultural event.
Something Jordan didn't do.
Yeah.
He's looking for those things.
Yeah, he'll be in space somehow.
The owner of the Vegas.
Yeah, something.
What will they be called?
It's a good question. Great question, really.
Oh, hey, thanks. And this is why Jake is excited today.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Barker, 49.
He escaped death, man. He got in a plane crash, and it was bad.
You know who that is, Blake?
Drummer?
Yeah.
I can't give you any more than that.
Blink.
You didn't know it was Blink?
He drums a lot.
Damn, bro. That's tough. From the Aquabats.
Born on this day, now dead, I'll give you Claude Monet.
No idea on the era, bro.
I was going to ask you.
Give me 1590.
1590?
1710.
Jess?
1830.
He lived. He saw World War I.
Oh,
damn,
man, we were way off.
1840. He was born in 1840, died in 1926. Monet.
French, I presume?
French, yeah. They got a big museum there just for him.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's that big.
Yeah. Okay.
Or is that the one that they have in Amsterdam? They have one museum in Amsterdam that's just about one guy. It could be Monet because Monet is kind of big. But,
yeah, I feel like that's.
But the one in he might have his own in Paris, but I'm not sure. Really, there's no way to find out. That's
no,
the
especially like by someone recently going there.
Right.
And that was Today in History.
So now we're at closing remarks time. We have Jess Walker. Walker, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Damn. And Brad.
Featherstone.
Brad Featherstone.
Featherstone. Sorry.
I mean, I guess you could,
I don't know if Brad has the mic back there, too.
You can probably
Does he got a
throw
mic?
just about anything on Walker.
gonna be a
Probably,
cool
but
name.
Jess is definitely on the top end. Like, I don't think Frank works.
But Jess does sound
Jess
like she's wearing cutoff jeans and maybe the boots.
We had suggested yesterday that perhaps you have sex with dudes at NASCAR if you were a woman. I just heard Jess Walker, and I was like, damn, that's hot.
Are you saying I can't do that now?
I think it's your body, your choice.
What's Jess short for?
Nothing, actually. It's just Jess.
Jess?
Yeah.
Not Jesse?
My great-grandfather was
what's Jesse short
or
for?
something. Yeah.
I don't think it is. Yeah.
Jesse is the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just Jess.
Just Jess. And I got the nice experience of when I walked up to your garage, Blake goes, "Oh, you're a dude." That's how he introduced himself.
We're starving.
Yeah. Well, we knew Brad was a dude.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, he's a good-looking dude, though.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So closing remarks are yours.
Yeah.
Where are you from? You guys aren't from here, right?
I
Or
live
you
in
don't live here
Midland.
now?
Yeah, I live out west.
432?
Yeah, 432. Actually, I'm 806, but I live in Midland now, so I'm a Texas Tech guy.
I'm in Wichita Falls.
Okay.
But I was a huge P1. So I lived here for 4 or 5 years. Huge P1. I was a You Save It subscriber just for the Hang Zone. I didn't do anything else on there. And so when you guys left, obviously I jumped on immediately, or I guess at day 2 and all that. But no, and actually I had a list of things that I wanted. So I have nothing to promote. I'm not selling anything. I don't have any businesses to come on here and ask you to link to on your website. But I do want to promote a couple of things that I just noticed.
Yeah, are you taking a shot at the others?
No, not at all.
Okay.
In fact, I want to say I hope I did a good job to all the DZs listening, because there's a lot, and I'll admit I go on the Reddit fairly often, but there's a lot of talk about how 690 guests are the worst because they want to jump in at every 2 seconds. And there was definitely times that I wanted to jump in, but I mean, people pay to listen to you, not me. So. But I want to say this. A couple of notes that I've taken from this week listening. Number one, I've never seen the movie Pay It Forward. and I've just assumed what it was. And when you said that he gets stabbed at the end, I had a legitimate moment in my car. I was like, oh God, that's horrible.
It is. It really is. I'm going to make you watch it while you read the rest of your list. Oh, shit. Oh, somebody spliced in Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber when they're laying over the guy who ate the burger that they put the pepper in and the poison. They're like, like on top of Haley Joel Osment. Go ahead. Sorry, yeah.
No. I cannot believe that's actually how that movie ends. Yep. I had such a picturesque idea of what that movie was, and it completely ruined it for me. Ayatollah of the Glory Hole, I think, should be the ending of all of these because that's the best one.
It's not going to get better.
There's never going to be a better one than Ayatollah of the Glory Hole.
I keep thinking there's going to get a repeat somewhere, and they haven't yet. So that's pretty impressive.
That one's good.
Here, watch this. Look, Kevin Spacey's like a teacher, and he's like, oh, I'm going to save. And they're like, oh, run down here. These bullies have Haley Joel Osment. Of course, they have like a do-rag, and they're kicking his ass. And they're like, no. And they're bullying this other kid. He tried to stand up to him. You're not a guy who stands up to people. I got a knife, bitch.
Good Lord.
That was the tiniest little stab wound.
And that's the end of the movie?
Blood pouring out.
This is how it ends.
Now, would you rather have that stabbing, or would you rather let Kevin Spacey get to him?
Ooh. I was going to say, they put that in the Dumb and Dumber.
If you're bleeding out from a stab wound and you're a kid and Kevin Spacey's running towards you, don't you just kind of want it to end?
Yeah. Which one is good?
Wounded prey.
Yeah.
Glory Hole Ayatollah, I like that a lot. I'm with you.
Number one of all time, I think. And then I just had a couple of mores and lesses. More Julie. When she was on Tuesday's Epi, that was fantastic.
Agreed.
More Blake notes. I know that Blake hated the bit, and you guys were a little so-so about it, but I actually thought it was pretty funny. As weird as it is, I thought it was funny.
It is definitely weird.
Jake kind of ripped that guy. So.
Well, I just think that guy needs an editor.
And
that's okay.
Or maybe I would read it ahead of time and be that editor. Maybe I could have done that.
I want to ask that guy. I want to talk to him because I can tell you now, sitting on the couch next to Blake, I found myself very fascinated with what Blake was doing with his computer the entire time.
What does he do?
Anytime that you say a word, he'll start Googling it. Like you say a word, you say a name, a place, a person.
I use a lot of big, confusing words, that he has to try to understand.
Tough. But like Vanessa Bayer, he had to look her up real quick, and he's sitting there on the pictures, and I think he's scrolling looking for a hot one. And
he'll do that.
There wasn't any.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little harsh on Vanessa Bayer. She's funny though. Get over it.
Yeah.
Girls are funny, dude. Seriously.
You don't have any lesses?
I do have one less, and I feel like a giant asshole for saying it. Pardon my language, but less Jasmine. Just laying it out there. I'm just one man with an opinion. That's all.
That's what this is about.
You paid to be here.
The marketplace of ideas. You know, we want a robust dialogue, and I think you've started that. And it's healthy discourse.
Thank you.
Or whatever else you're supposed to.
And then I had one question. All right, so, and I think I wrote in, I'm not sure if I ever got read on the air or not, so I didn't put anything about the boys in it, I don't think so.
That's why I didn't get read.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the crow line, I know you guys, it's an old thing from the old station, but it still exists, and it's still up. And I used to be, like, dedicated. I'd watch the Cowboys games, I'd get hammered, and I'd call and just start.
Like, if we call it now?
It's still up.
Dial it, Blake.
It says the crow line, go. And I will occasionally still
get... Yeah. It's not us on there?
No, it's what it always was.
I changed it.
Did you? I called it like last week.
Well, remember it was the long Mike, TC, Bob, whatever, so yeah.
Right now it just goes, the crow line, go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what it was the last year you guys were on the air.
What was the number?
214-523-CROW?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I have it saved in my phone because, again, I would get blitzed during a Cowboys game and just throw out hot opinions, just mad. And so
Did you ever make the crow line?
What's that?
Oh, you just started calling it even though it's not going to go anywhere?
I did make it on the crow line a few times on your last season there. But, yeah, lately I've been calling it again, just hoping that maybe someone up there like is answering it. Like, someone's got to hear it, right? Like, where does it go?
That's like tweeting at a dead account?
Does it ring all the way through?
Shouldn't.
The crow line. Go.
Okay.
Please leave a message at the tone. When finished, you may hang up or press
Do you want to leave a
pound
message,
for additional
Jess?
options.
Yeah, I do. I'm not hammered, so this is actually a little awkward. I've never done this sober before. But hello, Crowline. This is Jess. I'm calling from the Dumb Zone. I would like for you to put this on the air. Thank you.
Look, I want to bring back the voicemail thing.
I say do it.
But these guys...
It's just not going to work well.
These guys really hate it.
We're not saying no. We're just saying it's not going to be worth your time.
And you'll give it up.
It doesn't take that much time. Do you forget what I used to do? I know how long these things take.
We don't get enough phone calls anymore.
What's the number? Dumb Fit? What's the area code?
Do we still subscribe to that number?
We had to buy another one.
So it's not dumb anymore?
Yeah, it's 862 Dumb Fit.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a great way to promote this new bit in the final 90 seconds of the episode.
Yeah, like one person might...
What's the area code again?
862.
862 Dumb Fit.
862-386-2348.
Man, I've already forgotten it.
All right, well, we'll water this garden. 862 Dumb Fit.
I love it. Yeah,
Dumb F it.
I want to have an
There
outlet.
you go.
Because my
that
wife
doesn't make
does not want
sense.
to hear it.
F-I-T-T?
No, that would be a...
D-U-M-B.
There's a B at the end of dumb, Dan.
D-U-M is the 3.
I had to buy this number
so.
and then try to figure out words that could go. So I came up with Dumb Fit.
All right, so we're paying for the number?
Yeah.
So I guess we should try it.
Yes. Can you guys buy in a little bit?
Let's try to promote it Monday too for the to the streamers because we're going to be doing the stream.
That's right,
and they'll be getting drilled. Correct?
I would imagine so,
or maybe not. And then we can hear about people in the bath with their dad.
That's right.
Well, I really missed that.
I didn't mind that humor. I thought it was all right.
It was stupid.
All right.
What do you think
this
we
is
are?
Closing remarks.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Let Jess have his time.
Were you in bathtub with your dad guy?
No.
Okay.
I've got some follow-up questions, though, I think.
There was somebody on the thing that used to say that a lot.
No.
Like the Cowboys were so bad, they're going to take a bath with their dad or something weird.
Okay, yeah, he chuckled.
It's kind of funny. And they are that bad. It's really, really sad.
Well,
no, that's all I got.
Thank you guys for being here.
I enjoyed this. This was cool. If I can give
times.
one plug, how about for any DZ listening right now, like or DF listening right now, like come do this. This is cool. I told Jake when I was coming in, I was listening to Tuesday's Epi on the way in, and it was just like I was hanging out with my buddies, and I came and sat down on the couch, and we just kept BSing. It's fun.
How do you like the den?
I think this is the best place ever. It's way smaller than I would have thought. I'm not going to lie.
Hear that
That's
a
what
lot.
She said.
Yep. You're not supposed to do it that way.
Yeah.
What did you think of Jack?
Love him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any
He's
great?
best intern
He's
of
an
all
internet
time.
darling.
Yeah.
Brad, you got anything?
I'm good. Had a great time. Had a great time.
How many steps today, Jess?
Grab a Lone Star if you want.
Not enough steps, I can tell you that. Because
I thought everybody who had one of those had steps, so I don't really know how the
Is that an Apple Watch?
Yeah, it's an Apple Watch. 1900. Because I got up and just drove straight in.
That's true. They should have just let you count that like Fred Flintstone. Thank you, Jess.
Well, Jake only really asked so that we can ask him.
But don't.
I know.
Don't
I'm
do
not
it.
even going to look. I
Don't
just
fall for
saw
it.
his
No, I want to
thing.
know because you said you were going on a run this
I'm
morning.
not
and
doing it.
That interests me.
No, I want Blake to stay happy.
I just want to know if you go on a run, what do you get for steps in the morning?
What time is it?
Because I made a concerted effort to get some steps in today, and I got 4,000 so far.
I am at 17,748.
Damn.
But what you should do is buy a Whoop so it inflates it.
Oh,
right.
okay.
And so that way you can just say you got 10,000 steps.
Then do I have to run for 45 minutes? Because
No,
I don't
you
want
just
to do
got to
that.
put it around your wrist, and then it'll make up steps for you.
I'm tired of you.
All right.
Adios, mofo.
Gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my
Thanks.
videos.
Why don't you get the bots out of the chat?